ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. With the memorandum of understanding now signed by President Trump and the president of Iran, ships are starting to sail through the Strait of Hormuz. Maritime experts say several ships that had been stuck for over 100 days are now moving. 5 are linked to China. A French and Italian ship are also underway. ABC's Karen Waugh has more.
U.S. officials say the deal takes effect immediately, reopening the Strait of Hormuz, allowing Iran to resume oil sales and beginning a new round of talks over Tehran's nuclear program. Earlier yesterday, President Trump said the memorandum of understanding is not final and that he would resume fighting if Iran does not, quote, behave.
After some European allies refused to allow U.S. forces to launch attacks on Iran from their bases, Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth said the U.S. will review its military presence in Europe. Millions expected in New York City today for a ticker tape parade for the NBA champion Knicks. This is ABC News. Home security cameras appear to show an explosion in the sky minutes before a small private jet crashed in Laredo, Texas, Tuesday. Federal investigators are still searching for the cause of the accident that killed 1 person and injured 5.
A dashboard camera in a car traveling in the opposite direction shows the plane owned by charter company NetJets sliding down the highway, taking out light poles before breaking into at least 2 pieces. ABC News contributor, retired Colonel Steve Ganyard.
The airplane was fully controllable all the way to impact. So the question will be, why were those engines not producing enough thrust?
The 2 pilots and 3 of the passengers were hospitalized in stable condition. Joshua Baer, the founder of an Austin company that supports tech startups, was killed. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
A judge called New York serial killer Rex Heuermann despicable as he sentenced him to life without parole Wednesday. Heuermann's admitted killing 8 women and burying their bodies on beaches on New York's Long Island. I'm Brian Clark, ABC News.
It is 6:02, and right now in downtown St. Louis, we've got cloudy skies. It's 70 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. We'll give you the full forecast here coming up at 10 after. Traffic as well. Metropolitan Sewer District has issued a precautionary sewer backup advisory for several blocks surrounding the street collapse at Broadway and Biddle.
MSD's Beth McCoy tells KMOX this is an unusual advisory.
Right now, with this street collapse and water main break, we have a 12-foot by 12-foot sewer that is going to be taken offline. We're doing that to protect the hole and ultimately to try to reduce any more damage to that hole that could threaten the integrity of the interstate.
McCoy says this means there's a 12-foot sewer main that is not operational. Now, during dry weather, that would be fine because MSD has pumps to make sure regular flow is being diverted. But during rain, that's not the case. There are 3 zones, red, orange, and yellow. Red being the highest risk. The risk expected to continue until the sewer main is repaired and returned to service. Maria Kina, KMOX News.
Despite the objections of St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer, the Board of Police Commissioners votes to give command staff double-digit raises.
The resolution increasing annual salaries for commands. The St. Louis Board of Police Commissioners has determined it to be in the best interest of the board to adopt the following resolution.
The police board signed off on lieutenants, captains, majors, and lieutenant colonels getting paid more, and the department is trying to make the case that this will help with recruitment, something Mayor Spencer says she was blindsided with 2 weeks ago.
With the resolution that came before us with just 24-hour notice, this is, of course, in the very last few weeks of the city's budget finalization. We had already discussed and put forward a budget through the Board of E&A.
Several people spoke out at the meeting, and the majority, while supportive of the police, do not believe the police board should bankrupt the city in the process.
Tonight in Des Peres, those in favor of eliminating the income tax will hold a town hall to answer questions people have.
Critics of the amendment to eliminate the income tax have taken issue with the lack of a concrete plan to offset the revenue. I posed that to one of the hosts, State Representative Ben Keithley.
Those involved with the bill and the governor himself have been very clear about what their intent is to do here. And the bill itself contemplates closing a lot of the loopholes regarding sales taxes with services and things that are right now paying 0%.
Keithley says the state moving away from the income tax to a more consumption-based revenue model puts Missourians in control of choosing what their tax burden is by choosing where they spend their money. The town hall is tonight at 5 at the Lodge in Des Peres. Voters will ultimately decide whether to eliminate the income tax in August. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Find out more from Sean Malone at 6:22.
A neighborhood battle over decades-old zoning rules is heating up in Chesterfield.
Council members gave first reading to a bill that would extend operating hours at the historic Old House at Hog Hollow. The restaurant and wine garden sits in a structure that dates back to the Civil War era, but it's currently forced to close at 4 p.m. Working families in the area, like Liz Mathis, say those restrictions keep them from taking part.
Both my husband and I work in healthcare. Many residents who want to support local businesses are not available during traditional daytime hours. A 4 p.m. closing time does not reflect the reality of the families, professionals, and younger residents who are part of Chesterfield's future.
But those expanded hours and proposals to have an outdoor patio are running into fierce resistance from surrounding subdivisions. Spyglass Homeowners Association President Terry Wynn says property owners invested in their gated streets, expecting them to stay quiet.
We feel strongly that these major easing of restrictions to hours and outdoor food and drink service and live entertainment would be detrimental to our peaceful and serene setting that we all have become accustomed to here in Spyglass.
Chesterfield Council members passed the first reading unanimously to move the process forward, they say. A final vote on the operating hours won't come until the second reading in July. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
It's called an aggressive solicitation bill, but some are concerned a proposed St. Louis County ordinance goes too far. The bill would bar asking people for money at bus stops, near banks and ATMs, on highway on-ramps, from drivers in traffic, and any time between sunset and 9 in the morning. The council put it on hold this week instead of taking a vote.
The only resident who spoke, Spencer Harris, urged them to vote no.
This bill presents itself as a bill to address aggressive solicitation, which is an issue that I've never experienced. I've never heard anyone, talk about experiencing in this county.
Councilman Michael Archer is the sponsor of the bill. He says the goal is keeping people off busy roadways. The bill now heads back to committee where it could change before returning for a vote.
The Straub's Market in the Central West End is for sale. According to the Business Journal, the asking price for the shop at the corner of Kings Highway and Maryland Plaza is $3.25 million. No word from Straub's why they are selling that location, in which they invested about $1.5 million 10 years ago when Whole Foods was opening nearby. There are currently 4 Straub's locations, all privately owned and run by the Straub family.
Ballpark Village is getting its Starbucks back. The location at 6 Cardinal Way reopened in May after closing in October 2024. The new coffee shop will be owned by the CEO of a Detroit-based firm that also operates Chick-fil-A restaurants. That's according to the Business Journal.
I may or may not hit that Starbucks from time to time on my way into the ballpark. It is 6:08. Traffic and weather next.
Amendment 4 on the August ballot hides some ugly facts. It would create a new minority veto power, but only for ballot issues that are citizen-led.
I just say no to that.
Amendment 4 permanently ends majority rule for citizen-led ballot issues.
I'm a no on 4.
Politicians put Amendment 4 on the ballot to severely limit citizens' constitutional power.
I say no on 4.
4 is a power grab by politicians. It lets one congressional district veto reforms backed by the majority of voters statewide, giving as few as 5% of voters control over the rest of us.
That's why I say no to 4.
4 would make it nearly impossible to rein in out-of-control politicians.
I say heck no.
4 takes away our constitutional power we've used for over 100 years to pass reforms that politicians wouldn't. Keep majority rule and your power. Just say no to Amendment 4. It's an ugly politician power grab. Paid for by Missourians for Fair Governance.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by
Gamma tree experts.
Are moles tearing up your yard? Don't let these lawn invaders turn your beautiful property into a mess. Rottler Pest Solutions offers professional mole control services to protect your lawn from damage. Visit Rottler.com today to schedule your free inspection.
Hey, it's 6:10. Hopefully, if you're just heading out the door, it'll be smooth sailing for you. Let's get the latest on the roads right now from Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Very smooth so far this morning, Debbie. Up in North County, westbound on Highway 270, that incident at 367 is gone. All lanes back open there. Traffic lanes back open as well through the road construction zone westbound on Highway 70 at Wentzville Parkway. Those delays from earlier this morning are easing as well. Northbound on Highway 55, a great run between Arnold and the 270 interchange. Northbound 270, no problems to report. 55, 44, all the way up through to Highway 64. Eastbound Highway 64, eastbound Highway 70 from St. Charles County into St. Louis County. We are delay-free as well. Our next traffic update at 6:20. Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Let's get the latest from AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Cooler today with intervals of clouds and sunshine. We'll have a thunder shower in spots, but the humidity is coming down, high 78. Tonight will be clear to partly cloudy with a low of 62. Then it's a nice day tomorrow. We'll have a mostly sunny sky and a high of 84. Clouds, sun, and a high of 87 on Saturday. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's clearing up downtown. We do have some clouds, 71 degrees.
It's now going on 6:12, and the Missouri Department of Conservation says rising costs and budget pressures have led to the decision to eliminate 106 jobs by March. Deputy Director Aaron Jeffries tells MissouriNet employees have been notified that they must apply for other conservation posts or they could be laid off.
This will result in some efficiencies, reduce supervision across the agency. And really, the reductions are occurring from headquarters out into the field. It's really focused on the entire agency.
As a result of those cuts, Jeffrey says the public can expect to see less mowing and maintenance around parking lots and conservation areas, but he says many programs will continue.
A proposed rule that would broaden access to Missouri's prescription drug monitoring program is on hold.
The change would have given licensed clinical and social workers in behavioral health the ability to view patient data. Dan Linneman, executive director of the statewide program, outlined the proposal to Missouri lawmakers during a hearing.
A licensed clinical social worker would not be able to access that in the future, if it's approved, unless they have a supervising, collaborating provider that says, yes, you're working on my team. It'd be beneficial for you to be able to find this information.
The change failed on a 7-1 vote. Missouri only launched its statewide monitoring program in December of 2023, becoming the last state in the country to implement one to help prevent the misuse of prescription drugs. Beth Coughlin, KMOX News.
It's not illegal in Missouri, but Attorney General Catherine Hanaway went after sellers of a concentrated kratom compound. CBD American Shaman has agreed to stop selling the product in the Show Me state.
She used a public nuisance and public protection laws to negotiate a settlement, whereas these companies that are selling them, there's about 4 of them out of the Kansas City area, they've agreed to not sell their products in Missouri in exchange for not being prosecuted under the law.
KMOX legal analyst Brad Young tells Total Information AM he thinks this strategy will be used more and more, not waiting for the legislature to act, but using existing consumer protection laws.
It's now 6:14. A Park Hills business is at the center of the illegal gambling controversy after the Attorney General's office, State Highway Patrol, and local police executed a search warrant there this month. 13 electronic gambling devices and nearly $25,000 in cash were seized from the business called Sit and Spin. The owner, Robert Orr, faces 13 felony charges. Attorney General Hanaway is warning any other businesses still operating illegal gaming machines to shut them down now.
If you're looking for another team to root for in the World Cup besides the U.S., well, a new survey says Missouri's answer is pretty clear who the second favorite team is. Covers.com ranks Bosnia and Herzegovina number 1 in the state. Besides the U.S., they're backed by nearly 9,000 Bosnian-born Missouri residents. St. Louis, of course, has the largest Bosnian community outside of Bosnia. So when they play, it's not feeling like a foreign match around here. DR Congo, Germany, Jordan, and Iraq round out the state's top 5.
Bosnia and Herzegovina plays today against Switzerland, and that one gets going today at 2 o'clock Eastern. Canada and Qatar, Mexico and South Korea late tonight. It'll open up with Czechia and South Africa. Scores from yesterday. England beat Croatia 4-2. Congo, surprisingly, ties Portugal 1-1. Ghana with a surprising 1-0 win over Panama, I would say. And Colombia over Uzbekistan 3-1. Austria beat Jordan 3-1 as well. It is the opening of another major championship in golf. The U.S. Open is underway at Shinnecock Hills.
The history of recent U.S. Open outcomes at Shinnecock is both famous and infamous. In 1986 and again in 95, Greg Norman initiated and then validated a playing profile in majors that haunted him his entire career. He lost both championships on Sunday from the final group. In 2004, it was Phil Mickelson, a 6-time runner-up in the Open, taking 4 shots from the greenside bunker at the par 3 17th on Sunday to hand the championship to Retief Goosen. Then in 2018, when Brooks Koepka was making history with his 2nd consecutive U.S. Open win, it was Mickelson who authored one of the most disgraceful moments in tournament history. Frustrated by his inability to deal with difficult conditions on Friday, the left-hander intentionally broke the rules, hitting the ball while still moving on the green, daring the USGA to disqualify him. The USGA has already written a new chapter in championship history this week, scheduling the greens to be watered between the morning and afternoon wave today and tomorrow. A U.S. Open first. Reporting on the U.S. Open, Dan Reardon for KMOX Radio Sports.
Dan, thank you. We'll continue to update you on the leaderboard as we move along. Cut of the game sponsored by The Diamond Shop, thediamondshop.net. We take you to Busch Stadium.
Another 0-2 pitch to the Cardinal first baseman. Swung on, and there's a hit to right field, and the Cardinals are on the board. Taking the turn at second and stopping is Herrera. The hitting streak grows to 17 for Burleson, who just drove in his 53rd run, 3-1 San Diego.
Alec Burleson, he's got to be an all-star candidate now, doesn't he? What a terrific season he's having. But that was the only run the Cardinals scored the entire game. They lost to the Padres 6-1 yesterday. They do take 2 out of 3, and they win the season series against San Diego. And they'll open up a series tonight in Kansas City. It's a 6:40 start on KMOX. We'll have the pregame for you at 5:45. Matthew Liberatore facing another lefty, Noah Cameron, for Kansas City tonight. I'm Tom Ackerman on the home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Here's a World Soccer Championship recap.
Brought to you by Lowe's. Members get more at Lowe's. And by the first ever Infiniti QX65. England defeated Croatia 4-2 in one of the most entertaining matches of the tournament so far. A first-half brace for Harry Kane included a goal from the penalty spot. Jude Bellingham and Marcus Rashford also scored for England, who outshot Croatia 20-12. I'm Mike Conti.
This is Jordan Walker. Celebrate Black Heritage Day, presented by your quality Ford dealers on Sunday, June 28th at Busch Stadium. This special culture and community event honors the impact, history, and legacy of the Black community in baseball and beyond. With a special themed ticket, you'll receive an exclusive Cardinals jersey designed by Corey Rogers. And don't miss a special heritage celebration in Budweiser Terrace before the game. Details and tickets at cardinals.com/theme.
The weekend starts here. Grab your crew and kick it off at Friday Night Live at Busch Stadium. Every Friday night home game, Budweiser Terrace turns into the hottest happy hour in the Lou with $5 beers, $5 hot dogs, $7 margaritas, live music, and more all game long. Meet up with friends, soak in the energy, and keep the night going with baseball under the lights. Good vibes, great deals, your new Friday tradition. Get tickets now at Cardinals.com.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-838-6767. 800-838-6767. 800-838-6767.
Now the news at 9 The Talk. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's 6:20. You're listening to Total Information AM. I'm Debbie Monterey along with Tom Ackerman. And let's check in with Frank Ladd. He's got the latest on your ride-in from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Debbie, we are instant free this morning. We're going to kick it off with our USPS Ground Advantage reliable route. We'll call it 270 northbound now between 55-44 all the way up through to Highway 64. Just volume there, through that stretch there. No slowdowns so far this morning. Into downtown St. Louis, delay-free westbound 55-64 crossing the Poplar. North County looks good as well. Westbound on Highway 270 from the Chain of Rocks Bridge up to the Interbelt. In from St. Charles County, no problems to report. Eastbound on Highway 70, passing 64, Highway 370 all the way up through to the Blanchette Bridge. We're brought to you by Hoff Heating and AC. Our next traffic update at 6:30. Frank Ladd, the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
For dependable, no-pressure home comfort solutions, turn to Huff Heating and Air Conditioning. Locally owned and family-operated for over 40 years. Our team will work with you on a plan that fits your home's needs with financing available. And as always, your family's comfort is our family's business. Learn more at huffheating.com.
Lowering humidity today. It'll be cooler. High 78 degrees. Thundershower in spots. Intervals of clouds and sun. Otherwise, clear to partly cloudy tonight. Low 62. And then get ready for a beautiful Friday. Sunny and beautiful, a high of 84 degrees. Currently, it's 71 downtown.
It is 6:22, and tonight the Missouri Eagle Forum will host a town hall featuring prominent proponents of Amendment 5. That'll be on the ballot in August. It seeks to eliminate the Missouri state income tax and then raise other taxes, sales taxes, if it's approved by voters. KMOX's Sean Malone spoke with one of the panelists, State Representative Ben Keithley, asking him who this event is for.
Thursday evening, we have a town hall. It's just an event for people who may be on the fence, supportive, think they're in opposition, to be able to come hear about the bill in detail, ask any questions they might have, and just and hopefully have voters in the electorate be able to learn as much as they can before it's time to go vote in August.
You kind of got into my follow-up question in a little bit, but who is this event for? Is it to answer questions for skeptics? Is it to try to drum up support and get out the vote ahead of August?
You know, I think kind of any and all the above. I don't assume support from anyone. I assume people have questions, that people should have questions. Ultimately, people are being asked to vote on what is a very serious policy with huge ramifications for the state of Missouri. I hope people will take the time to understand that issue fully before they go vote. And I'm just trying to answer as many questions as I can about how positive of a policy this can be for Missouri going forward.
What are some of the questions about Amendment 5 and concerns that you're hearing from the people that are skeptical of this?
I think a lot of the questions center on how it affects certain segments of the population specifically. I think a lot of the questions are, well, what do these guardrails really look like? What does the legislature stop from doing? Which are always good discussions to have around constitutional language change. And ultimately, how is the income tax going to be eliminated? What does that look like, and what does that mean for things like sales taxes going forward?
This event is being held in Des Peres, and when you mentioned specific populations, that has me thinking, because Des Peres, the Business Journal ranked it as one of the 10 wealthiest suburbs in the St. Louis area. It came in ranked 6th just a few years ago. Do you plan to hold this event in other locations where maybe people that are concerned they could be directly impacted, such as the elderly, such as people that are lower income that won't see quite the same tax relief from the income tax being eliminated that maybe some of the wealthy individuals in Des Peres would?
Well, let me just make it very clear that while the event is in Des Peres, the event is not closed off in any way to anyone. Anyone can attend. And we have been doing countless events all over the state and all different kinds of communities that are similar to this event. Tons of different town halls that have been, led by other state representatives, state senators, other people who have been involved with tax policy at the state level in those groups. So this is one of many in a series of events and town halls we've been doing. There will be more events coming after this, but this event is certainly open to everyone. I don't think there's anything meant by it being in Des Peres other than the Lodge at Des Peres had availability for us to have the event that day, and we're trying to have a place that we could have as many people as possible to fit in.
It seems like one of the concerns that we're hearing from people is that we would be swapping the income tax if Amendment 5 is approved for essentially a mystery box of new taxes, whether it's an increased sales tax, whether it's new use taxes on businesses such as, barber shops and auto repair, things of that nature. What do you say to people that are concerned about not knowing what new taxes are going to be replacing the income tax?
Sure. Well, I think those involved with the bill and the governor himself have been very clear about what their intent is to do here. And the bill itself contemplates closing a lot of the loopholes regarding sales taxes with services and things that are right now paying 0%. So I would hope that answers most people's questions about where we're at, where we would actually be looking to make those changes in the tax policy. I think overall, I think it's a fair question to have about what kind of tax would you rather pay. The overall, economic scholarship studies, and I think just people's intuition when you look at things like embedded and double taxation. Taxes on income and people's paychecks are extremely destructive. Taxes on consumption encourage and foster economic growth in a way that income tax just really struggles to do.
Anything else about this I didn't ask you about that you think would be good for people to know?
Yeah, I think it's important that people understand, because I think it is the plan is that that is to move towards a consumption-based tax. Why that's good for Missourians is it puts you in control of choosing what your tax burden is. You don't get taxed on every dollar you earn, and then again on all the dollars you spend. We eliminate the entire side of the equation on the dollars you earn and are only taxing you on the dollars you spend. Those are dollars you're in control of. You don't have to go through the tax return process anymore, and that's why ultimately it grows the economy.
Ben Geely, thank you so much for your time, sir. Once again, before I let you go, when and where is this forum that you'll be hosting?
This is at the Lodge in Des Peres, Thursday, June 18th. It is from 5 to 7 p.m.
It's 6:27. Time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Staples presents Celebrations Made Easy.
I was throwing a party for the twins and had custom invites and a banner printed at Staples. And that's when I saw Party City is now at Staples.
Party City? No way!
So now Staples has all your printing needs and everything you need for a party.
Everything times 2.
And now at Staples, save 25% on all custom banners.
Party City is now at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or on the app. Some banners available same day when ordered by 12 p.m. Ins 8-1 exclusions apply.
Giddy up! It's the Cardinal Cowboy. Don't let garage door problems bench your summer plans. From repairs, tune-ups, and replacements, Renner Garage Door hits a grand slam every time. Score a free repair or replacement quote today, plus $100 off a new garage door. Featuring trusted brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster, Renner delivers the quality, reliability, and performance your home can count on. RennerDoorSTL.com. Forward and back.
RENNER, RENNER.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You just testified under oath you're getting more fiber in your diet, and it was easy? Where is this additional fiber coming from?
Mira Fiber Gummies.
Objection!
It's true. Mira Fiber has 8 grams of fiber to help me get the fiber I need in a day, plus 4 B vitamins for metabolism support. All in one serving.
Overruled.
My gut rests its case.
Oh, that's my line.
Find Mirafiber today at your local retailer from the makers of Miralax. Mirafiber supports metabolism of carbs, fats, and proteins. Serving size is 4 gummies.
When pain starts to slow you down, BJC Healthcare and WashU Medicine orthopedic specialists are here to help. Nationally recognized leaders in orthopedics deliver care that's informed by research and personalized for you. From everyday aches to complex injuries and recovery, we're here to help you get back to doing what you love. Find an orthopedic specialist today. Visit bjc.org/orthopedics or call 314-362-9355.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial # law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
It is 6:30 and it's kind of muggy out there right now. It's cloudy and 70 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Let's see how the roads look. Frank Ladd, Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Tom, we're seeing a little more volume in the Metro East, westbound 5564 coming off the merge with Highway 70 headed towards the Poplar Street Bridge. Not quite stop and go through that stretch. It's all due to that road construction there near the Eads Bridge and the King Bridge split into downtown St. Louis. West of there, no problems to report entering downtown and crossing the Poplar. Westbound on 270 up in North County looks good. North County 170 northbound looks good as well. Similar story southbound on 170 headed towards Highway 64. No delays. No delays this morning headed northbound on 55 from Arnold up through the Highway 270 interchange through South County and South City headed towards downtown St. Louis. Our next traffic update at 6:40. Frank Ladd at the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, the humidity should drop a little compared to yesterday. So will the temperature. Today, we're looking at clouds and sun, maybe a thunder shower in spots today, but lower humidity and a high of 78. 62 overnight, and then mostly sunny, 84 tomorrow, 87 with clouds and sun on Saturday. But for Father's Day Sunday, it looks like we could get some strong thunderstorms later in the day. Right now, it's cloudy and 70.
It's 6:32.
Right now, with this street collapse and water main break, we have a 12-foot by 12-foot sewer that is going to be taken offline.
That's MSD's Bess McCoy talking with KMOX about why the utility made the decision to shut down the 12-foot sewer main where the ground opened up Friday at Broadway and Biddle.
McCoy says it's ultimately to protect homes and reduce any more damage to the hole and minimize damage to Interstate 44 over the sinkhole.
Right now, with this street collapse and water main break, we have a 12-foot by 12-foot sewer that is going to be taken offline.
McCoy recommends if you live in the area, remove things from your basement, especially if they are valuable.
Avoid storing any items directly on the basement floor. And then while it is raining, we recommend minimizing any unnecessary water use. So things like laundry, dishwashing, long showers.
Now, if you live in the area around Broadway and Biddle, you should consider yourself in the advisory zone and take precautions. Maria Kina, KMOX News.
The St. Louis Public Schools central office closed earlier this month after the bacteria that causes Legionnaire's disease was found in their water. When will it reopen?
According to a press release, their latest test results will allow them to reopen the office to employees after the July 4th holiday weekend. The press release says the test found no Legionella bacteria in their drinking water and very low non-concerning levels in the building's cooling tower treatment tank. The district says they will replace the cooling treatment tank and continue preventative flushes and maintenance of water lines. They will also continue testing ahead of reopening. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
The news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Your Money Minute next.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Mark Scores. The Chris and Amy Show. It's not the same old talk. It's fresh, it's different, and it's local. Chris and Amy dig into the news that matters, but they also keep it light, keep it fun, and keep you smiling. Serious when it needs to be, silly when it can be. That's pure entertainment with a local heartbeat. The Chris and Amy Show, weekdays at 9 on the Voice of St. Louis, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight, Skin Cancer Awareness this summertime, and we're joined by Dr. Aubriana McAvoy, a WashU medicine surgeon at Siteman Cancer Center.
I always tell patients that sun protection doesn't mean you have to avoid enjoying summer. It's really about being smart and consistent with sun protection. The basics are staying in the shade, especially between those really peak hours of sunlight, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. They make great sun protective clothing now, like shirts, wide brim hats, sunglasses, and using sunscreen regularly. My favorite sunscreen is the one that you like to wear. We generally recommend SPF 30 or higher, and they have mineral-based sunscreens with zinc oxide and titanium dioxide that are great for people with sensitive skin and young kids.
For more information, visit siteman.washu.edu.
6:35, time for your money report. It is sponsored for you by Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano, elder law attorneys.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Apple is said to be gearing up to release a second-generation iPhone Air for spring 2027. Current prototypes of the new model add a second rear camera for ultra-wide-angle photos. Apple's also looking to improve the device's battery life. New Fed Chair Kevin Warsh made it clear that the central bank will not tolerate high inflation. Traders are now betting on a rate hike by October. That sent stocks tumbling yesterday, with the Dow falling 507 points. Wall Street is looking to make a comeback this morning. President Trump signing an interim deal to end the war with Iran, lifting stocks. S&P futures are rising 58 points. Dow futures are up 230. And shares of CarMax went in reverse yesterday, sliding 9%. Profit generated from used vehicle sales slid for a fourth straight quarter. This is raising questions about the strength of the company's turnaround efforts. The company's been trying to improve its shopping experience. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
It is 6:36. Tonight is the big event at the Humane Society of Missouri. It is called Purses for Pooches. It's a really fun event if you've never been. I'm sure there are probably some tickets available if you would like to join us. I was telling my mom about Purses for Pooches, and she's like, wait, what? So they make little purses for dogs? And I said, no, the purses are for people, but the money goes to help the dogs. Anyway, I thought that was funny. Now I keep thinking of somebody's going to come up with a money-making idea of making purses for dogs. But anyway, the money raised is very important because the Humane Society of Missouri, which has been around since 1870, helps so many animals, not just dogs, but cats and all kinds of pets and farm animals as well, all kinds of critters. And the money also helps the Animal Cruelty Task Force, which does an amazing job rescuing animals to get them the help they need, to get them to their forever homes where they can live the rest of their lives happily. 358,000 miles. That's how many miles the Animal Cruelty Task Force travels in an average year all around the state. They've helped more than 18,000 animals and responded to almost 10,000 reports of abuse and neglect. So if you can't attend tonight, you can find other ways to help the Humane Society of Missouri by adopting, fostering, or donating. hsmo.org.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-329-1010. That's 1-800-329-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-329-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Santana, Oneness Tour 2026. The power, the energy. Come celebrate your favorite hits from Woodstock to Supernatural and beyond. With very special guest, the Doobie Brothers. This Saturday, Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. On sale now at LiveNation.com. Santana and Doobie Brothers. Oneness Tour 2026.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
This is the Gas House Gang from KMOX.
Bernie Nicholas and the Gas House Gang, today at noon on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
It is now 6:40. Let's get you a check of the roadways and the weather as well. And we're checking in right now with Frank Ladd. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center. Any big trouble spots?
No, not really, Debbie. We just have that little bit of a hesitation slowdown through the road construction westbound on 5564, starting at about the Highway 70 merge, headed towards the King Bridge split. West of there, no problems to report into downtown St. Louis. Good news as well for drivers headed northbound on Highway 270. Essentially delay-free now between 55, Highway 44, all the way up through to Highway 64. The Central Corridor looks good so far this morning, east and westbound 64 between Lindbergh and Big Bend, all the way up through to Forest Park. No problems to report up in North County. Westbound on Highway 270. Similar story eastbound on Highway 64 and eastbound on Highway 70 coming in from St. Charles County, the Wentzville area, all the way into St. Louis County, headed into North County on Highway 70 and eastbound 64 into Chesterfield Valley, delay-free as well. Our next traffic update at 6:50, Frank Ladd, the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
It is 6:41 and looking out the windows here of Studio B, it looks like a breezy morning. And it was pretty cloudy, but I'm seeing a bit of sunshine. Let's see what this forecast has in store for us with Heather Zaire, our AccuWeather meteorologist.
And so far, we are off to a pretty good start. As you said, we are starting to get some breaks of sunshine, which is a nice little change. And the radar looking fairly quiet right here as well. Now, we do have some showers and thunderstorms that are some of the remnants of yesterday's storms well off to the south. And there's a little area of showers and some rumbles of thunder that is well off to the north. In between here, we can still have a thunderstorm at some point today. But it looks like for most places, it's dry with clouds and sun, and it turns cooler with the humidity coming down and a high of 78. Only a few clouds tonight with a low of 62, then sunshine tomorrow with a high of 84, and still dry Saturday with clouds and sun and a high of 87. Father's Day, though, will bring a couple of thunderstorms, although the heaviest storms will be late in the day. Those will bring a chance for flash flooding and damaging winds. Otherwise, it'll be breezy and more humid with a high of 81, and there can still be a shower Monday, high 78. 69 in St. Peter's, 70 in Florissant, 74 downtown at the Arch right now. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire on 104.1 FM KMOX.
All right, thanks, Heather. It is 6:43. New troubles for lawmakers trying to reauthorize FISA funding after Wednesday's confirmation hearing for President Trump's new Director of National Intelligence pick. Jay Clayton, it was suddenly postponed by the president himself. This left Bill Pulte as the acting director of national intelligence, the very person that caused lawmakers to lapse the funding to FISA in the first place. ABC's Allie Peckerin explains why so many lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are hesitant to leave Pulte at the helm.
Major red flag for a lot of senators on Capitol Hill is how Pulte performed in his previous role at the Federal Housing Finance Agency. In that role, Pulte launched investigations into some of President Trump's perceived political enemies, including Senator Adam Schiff and New York Attorney General Letitia James. This is a big problem for quite a few lawmakers, both Democratic and Republican.
An emotional day inside a New York courtroom yesterday for families of Gilgo Beach serial killer Rex Heuermann, who was sentenced to life in prison for his role in the murders of several women before scattering their remains on a remote Long Island beach years ago. But for family and friends who gave impact statements it was about far more than just punishing the man responsible. We get more from ABC's Aaron Katursky, who was in the courtroom.
The families want to make sure that their loved ones are not remembered merely as sex workers or even as victims of the Gilgo Beach serial killing. They were mothers and daughters and sisters and cousins. And all of that was reflected. I asked Liliana Waterman, who was 3 years old when her mom, Megan, vanished, whether it brought her any comfort to confront Heuermann, even though he showed no remorse. And she said at least it was an ending.
What's a doctor think of defense attorneys for Luigi Mangione wanting to use a psychiatric argument in his trial for the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson?
The attorneys say they'll argue Mangione suffered an extreme emotional disturbance at the time Thompson was killed. Fox News senior medical analyst Dr. Mark Siegel.
They're going to hang this on the fact that he had spinal fusion surgery in 2023 and had been suffering in pain and isolation and anxiety. I don't think there's any chance that would meet the bar of extreme emotional disturbance if it hadn't been diagnosed previously where he had some kind of delusional or psychotic disorder as a result. I think that this is a Hail Mary.
If the argument is allowed at trial, which is set to begin September 8th, it could change Mangione's sentencing if found guilty. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
The head of Apple is warning that purchasing Apple products could soon cost you a lot more. ABC's Sophie Flay.
CEO Tim Cook says customers should expect price hikes, telling the Wall Street Journal they're unavoidable. Cook did not say when the increases will take place or on which products they'll affect, but he did tell the Journal the upcoming price hikes are being caused by an ongoing shortage of memory and storage chips.
It's time for the U.S. Open, and KMOX's Dan Reardon with the very latest.
This week at the U.S. Open at Shinnecock, players will find the widest fairways since the scoring records for the century-old event were washed away at Erin Hills in 2017. Brooks Koepka was the champion there, the first of his consecutive Open wins. Koepka has spent the first half of 2026 trying to reclimb the elite ranks of the PGA Tour as he returns from LIV. He faces an even bigger challenge than the golf course this week. He was forced to withdraw a week ago from the Canadian Open when nerve problems caused numbness in 2 fingers of his left hand. He reports the situation has improved, and a win this week would tie him with Hale Irwin with 3 national titles. World number 1 Scottie Scheffler is looking for a hat-trick celebration on Sunday. His first Open win, completing a career slam, a Father's Day trophy to share with his 2 young sons, and his 30th birthday. Reporting on the U.S. Open, Dan Reardon for KMOX Radio Sports.
Now we shift to baseball. Our broadcasters with the latest.
With Ricky Orton, I'm John Rooney. And yesterday at Busch Stadium, the Cardinals were going for a sweep of the San Diego Padres. They couldn't get the job done. The Padres scored in the first inning, added on. They added on again, a 3-0 lead. The Cardinals got a run as Alec Burleson singled in a run, extending his hitting streak to 17, but they didn't get any more. Jackson Merrill hit a 2-run homer in a 3-run ninth, and San Diego won 6-1.
It was a quality start for Kyle Leahy, but he picked up the loss. He went 6 innings, giving up 3 runs. The Cardinals' bullpen wasn't good after that, although Matt Swanson pitched well, and the Cardinals just couldn't get enough hits against a pretty good Padres pitching staff.
The Cardinals won 2 out of 3 and go to Kansas City to play 3 starting tonight.
Cardinals so close to getting to that +10, and maybe they can get there on this road trip.
They'll start out with Matthew Liberatore at 3-3 against lefty Noah Cameron 3-4. Airtime 5:45 tonight. Ricky will go over the lineups at 6:30, and I'll bring you the first pitch at 6:40 from Kauffman Stadium.
Cardinals are currently 5.5 games out of first in the National League Central. The Brewers have won 3 in a row. They are heating back up. Cubs won yesterday, beat the Rockies. They're 8 back. Pirates 9 back, a game over 500 after winning back-to-back games. Who's Hot, Who's Not, sponsored by St. Louis Composting, growing gardens, and making memories.
Here's a World Soccer Championship recap.
Brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance, only paying for what you need. While some pre-tournament favorites like France, England, and Argentina have had early success, others have struggled, and you can add Portugal to that list. They play the Democratic Republic of the Congo to a disappointing 1-1 draw in Houston. Cristiano Ronaldo played all 90 minutes for Portugal and had 2 shots. I'm Mike Conti.
There's nothing like hearing your friends and family clearly. A grandchild's laugh, conversation with a friend, or the punchline to a joke. Charlie Brennan here with Dr. Colleen Bosler from the Audiology Center. Dr. Bosler and her team understand that hearing is personal. That's why you'll always work with certified audiologists like Adam Voss, Bailey Campbell, and Dr. Colleen Bosler.
That's right, Charlie. We offer hearing aids from all major manufacturers, so our recommendations are based on what fits you best. With us, we follow best practice fitting methods to ensure your hearing aids are programmed precisely for your unique hearing needs. But our care doesn't end when you walk out the door. As we know, hearing aids require continued support, adjustments, and maintenance, and we offer these services at no extra cost to you. Because better hearing isn't just about devices, it's about reconnecting to the moments that matter most. Call us today at 636-441-7470 or visit us online at theaudiologycenterstl.com.
A divorce is more than just legal paperwork. It's a life change. The stress, the uncertainty, the tough conversations. Cordell & Cordell understands what it's really like to face the unknown. The law firm of Cordell & Cordell has been representing clients during these transitions for over 35 years, helping you focus on what matters most. If you or someone you know is facing a divorce or family law matter, visit CordellCordell.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis. Joseph Cordell, Principal Partner.
Come out to Hot Shots on Lindbergh this Friday between 12 and 2 p.m. to celebrate 150 years of Budweiser. Don't miss out on a fresh day of brewed Budweiser and a chance to win great prizes while mingling with KMOX sports talent and sports manager Tom Ackerman. And while you're there, don't miss the chance to stay and watch the U.S. versus Australia game on the big screens while enjoying a Budweiser. All happening Friday at Hot Shots on Lindbergh. For more information, go to KMOX.com/events.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM KMOX. Now the news. At 1, the fun. It's the Dave Glover Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
6:51 and time to get you updated on your ride in. The sun is shining, so hopefully that won't be a delay for you this morning with sun in your eyes. Frank Ladd has the complete assessment of the roadway situation from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Debbie, I'm not seeing any sunshine slowdowns eastbound on Highway 70 or eastbound Highway 64 coming in from St. Charles County to St. Louis County. That's the good news. No delays either as well. Westbound on Highway 64 in the Metro East, you've got that road construction at 159. That's what's slowing you down through that stretch there. You're back on the brakes. Not even your brakes. You're just slowing down just a little bit, ramping onto westbound 5564 from westbound Highway 64 headed towards the Poplar Street Bridge. A great run this morning northbound on Highway 270 now between 5544 all the way up through Manchester Road and Highway 64. This update is sponsored by Ricken Financial. Our next update at 6:58. Frank Ladd and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Jerry Ricken and Heidi Ricken Provost covered the 3 key pillars of retirement planning: income, risk, and your tax strategy. Join us for Kickin' with the Rickens, redefining retirement, every Saturday at 3 p.m. right here on KMOX.
Clouds and sun with a thunder shower in spots today. Cooler, lowering humidity, high 78. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, low 62. Tomorrow, just a beautiful day. Sunny with a high of 84 degrees. Currently, it's cloudy, 71 downtown at the Arch.
The news continues at 6:52. The family behind Schnucks grocery stores keeping leadership in the family. We get the latest from KMOX's Michael Calhoun.
1939 Group, the parent company of Schnucks in St. Louis and Festival Foods in Wisconsin, has promoted Todd Schnuck Jr. to Chief Financial Officer. He's a 4th-generation member of the founding family and worked his way up through roles in merchandising, strategic planning, and store operations before the promotion. Quote, "I am incredibly energized by the opportunity to step into the role of Chief Financial Officer for 1939 Group and our family of banners during such an important time for our business," Schnuck said in a statement. 1939 Group is named after the year great-grandmother Anna Donovan Schnuck opened the original St. Louis store.
A newly approved measure is the next hope for urban renewal in the St. Louis region. KMOX has been following creation of the Missouri Innovation Zones. One key feature is creation of a tax incentive plan for converting offices to residential spaces. As Megan Lynch tells us, a longtime developer says cities need to get their ducks in a row now.
The Missouri Innovation Zone legislation is awaiting the governor's signature, and then the Department of Economic Development will create a framework. John Berglund is founder of River City Asset Advisors. He led the $75 million restoration of the Post building.
Even though this hasn't been signed by the governor, there's a lot of work that can be done with how your permitting is done, what your master plan, what your boundary is going to be, which identifying different buildings, different developers that you want to work with. And you put all that together so that you're kind of first in line.
Berglund says that means it's essential city leaders and investors come together to present clear, creative, and competitive proposals.
You can hear Megan's interview with John Berglund on the Total Information AM podcast on the Odyssey app.
Illinoisans without a library card can now access a free statewide digital library. The Illinois Reliable Information Sources program went live this week, giving Illinois residents, libraries, schools, and universities access to more than 50 databases, including e-books, peer-reviewed journals, magazines, and more. Tina Hubert, regional director of the 6 Mile Regional Library District in Granite City, says this will have a big impact as only residents with library cards could access free library databases before.
It really has the potential to make a profound difference on people who live in areas of the state that don't have library service. And there are a good number of places across the state, more rural places, that don't have library service.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement.
It's your birthday.
June 18th, and every year on this date, I think of Lou Brock, who was born on this date in 1939, the Hall of Famer. We miss him a lot. We loved our time with Lou Brock, one of the greatest in baseball history.
Local celebrity birthdays are sponsored for you by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back. Happy birthday wishes to Marcella Kramer from the Life Group. Happy 49th anniversary, Pam and Don Herbeck of Millstadt. Tracy Goldschmidt and Emily Brunig are celebrating birthdays today. So is Samantha Shipman. That one's from Grandma and Grandpa Adams. And happy birthday to Maureen Wangard and Shelley Donahoe.
This is the best birthday ever.
Amendment 4 on the August ballot hides some ugly facts. It would create a new minority veto power, but only for ballot issues that are citizen-led.
I just say no to that.
Amendment 4 permanently ends majority rule for citizen-led ballot issues.
I'm a no on 4.
Politicians put Amendment 4 on the ballot to severely limit citizens' constitutional power.
I say no on 4.
4 is a power grab by politicians. It lets one congressional district veto reforms backed by the majority of voters statewide, giving as few as 5% of voters control over the rest of us.
That's why I say no to 4.
4 would make it nearly impossible to rein in out-of-control politicians.
I say heck no.
4 takes away our constitutional power we've used for over 100 years to pass reforms that politicians wouldn't. Keep majority rule and your power. Just say no to Amendment 4. It's an ugly politician power grab. Paid for by Missourians for Fair Governance.
Are moles tearing up your yard? Don't let these lawn invaders turn your beautiful property into a mess. Rottler Pest Solutions offers professional mole control services to protect your lawn from damage. Visit Rottler.com today to schedule your free inspection.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
It's not your typical game day look. Sunday, June 28th at Busch Stadium, the Cardinals face the Miami Marlins, and fans can receive a soccer-style Cardinals jersey presented by Purina. Clean, sporty, and unmistakably Cardinals, it brings a fresh energy to the ballpark from first pitch on, and kids take home a vibrant Cardinals soccer ball to keep the action going long after the final out. 2 ways to play, one big Sunday. Get tickets at cardinals.com/promotions.
Every Sunday home game is a Kids Sunday at Busch Stadium. From Team Fred Birding games to a kid-friendly DJ, ice cream, and family-favorite activities. Sundays are built for young fans. Plus, select Sundays feature kids run the bases after the game. It's a day made for smiles, memories, and Cardinals baseball together. Make Sundays your family tradition at Busch Stadium. Tickets and details at cardinals.com/KidsSunday.
It's Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Thanks, Tom. It's really a great start to this Thursday morning. Not seeing major delays really anywhere out there on the interstates. Westbound on Highway 270 in North County. It's a good run coming in from the Metro East crossing the Chain of Rocks Bridge into North County. That's a no issue to report situation as well. North and southbound 170. Northbound headed towards Highway 270. Southbound headed towards Highway 64. Into downtown St. Louis, just a little hesitation coming around the bend. Westbound on Highway 64 crossing onto westbound 5564 and headed towards the Poplar Street Bridge. No major delays down in South County. Northbound on Highway 270 between 5544, Manchester Road, Highway 64. Smooth sailing as well. Eastbound on Highway 64, eastbound on Highway 70, coming in from St. Charles County to St. Louis County. Our next traffic update at 7:10. Frank Ladd, the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Metropolitan Sewer District is taking an unusual precaution around the sinkhole downtown at Broadway and Biddle. I'm Maria Aquino with the story.
I'm Sean Malone. Tonight in Des Peres, proponents of eliminating the income tax will host a town hall and answer questions of skeptics. I've got that story coming up.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zayer. There can still be a thunder shower in spots today, but it's going to be cooler with lowering humidity, high 78.
The Cardinals are in Kansas City to open up a 4-game series. The U.S. Open is underway at Shinnecock Hills.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. With the deal officially signed between the U.S. and Iran, ships are starting to move through the Strait of Hormuz. The agreement sets up a 60-day ceasefire to hammer out details on issues like Iran's nuclear program. This morning, Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth took aim at allies that he says stood in the way of America's fight with Iran.
These allies, they put America's sons and daughters, our sons and daughters, at risk by denying them the predictable access, basing, and overflight that never should have been in question at all.
He told the NATO gathering the U.S. is now launching a review of American military deployments in Europe. Rain's falling at an almost unbelievable rate along parts of the Gulf Coast this morning. Radar is tracking some storms, dumping 6.5 inches per hour in parts of Louisiana. There are warnings for potentially life-threatening flooding. Millions of people expected in New York City today to celebrate the NBA champion New York Knicks with a parade. This is ABC News. Health Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. announced $700 million in new funds to assist addiction recovery and mental illness treatment, saying a portion would go to the STREETS program that he unveiled earlier this year.
STREETS is designed to help communities move people living with addiction and serious mental illness off the streets and into treatment.
Georgia Republicans have changed course on redistricting for now.
The announcement garnered raucous applause from demonstrators inside the Capitol. House Speaker John Burns says lawmakers want to ensure the process is transparent and thoughtful.
Just as we do with every other issue that comes before the House.
Senate Democratic leader Harold Jones believes Republicans were afraid of backlash at the polls in November.
People stood up, and I think they saw that, and they actually backed down.
In a statement, Governor Kemp says he does not believe there's a reason to delay the process, but he acknowledges it's within the legislature's discretion to defer the issue. Jonathan O'Brien, ABC News, Atlanta.
Brian Clark, ABC News.
It is 7:02, and we've got cloudy skies officially, but I do see sunshine peeking through in downtown St. Louis. It's 71 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman.
We're taking steps to do what we can. That includes inspecting all of the open sewers in this area.
Metropolitan Sewer District's Bess McCoy talking about the area around the massive sinkhole at Broadway and Biddle that opened up Friday. As a result, I-44 is still closed directly over the crater. MSD made the decision to close off a 12-foot sewer because of fears rain could exacerbate the situation and compromise the highway more.
And that's because the pillars holding up the highway are within feet of that sinkhole.
We're installing bypass pumping to help divert water away from this area. And we're also working with the water division so that they're not adding any water from water main breaks to this area. We'll have additional crews on standby during the rain events.
MSD has established 3 zones, red, orange, and yellow, red being the worst. and the area that is most likely to see sewage backup. The closer you are to Broadway and Biddle, the more at risk you are.
Another contentious meeting between St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer and the Board of Police Commissioners.
Police Board President Chris Saraceno and Commissioner Sonia Jenkins Gray going after the mayor after she brought up the board's lack of cooperation on the command staff races.
We are still waiting for a response on the overall working group. Colonel Johnson re-forwarded the emails again today, but
we're not going to go to that.
No, we're not going to go there, but I do want to respond to what the mayor.
But there can't be an accusation that we're not participating in a work.
Regarding the salaries, regarding the salaries, okay, there was no accusation. It was just a factual. I am looking for data. I'm looking for information that we can make an educated decision on today. Basis, not philosophies, not thoughts, not any of that. It's numbers and how we will move forward.
Spencer says she was more than happy to have a working group with the police board and the city's operational departments, but says she never received a response. But board president Chris Saraceno chose to bypass Spencer's claims.
We're going to move forward with the vote. Thank you.
And the police board approved double-digit raises for command staff over Spencer's objections. Maria Kina, KMOX News.
Tonight in Des Peres, a Scrap the Tax town hall answering questions about the August vote, where statewide people will be asked to eliminate the state income tax. One of the hosts, State Representative Ben Keithley, tells KMOX by eliminating the income tax, Missourians would no longer be double taxed.
You don't get taxed on every dollar you earn, and then again on all the dollars you spend. We eliminate the entire side of the equation on the dollars you earn and are only taxing you on the dollars you spend. Those are dollars you're in control of.
Sales taxes would be increased on a variety of things to make up the difference. Keithley says they have faced a lot of questions about how the tax would impact specific demographics. The town hall is tonight at the Lodge in Des Peres. It starts at 5.
It's 7:05. If a business bends the rules, should the city let them expand later? That's part of the debate dividing Chesterfield over the historic old house at Hog Hollow. The wine and small plate venue wants to stay open until 7 p.m., 3 hours later than its current limit. Supporter Stacy Haberstroh says the city needs to let small businesses adapt if they're going to survive.
The old house in Hog Hollow has been part of the community for years. Like any business, it must adapt, evolve, and find ways to remain successful. This is a normal part of living in a thriving city like Chesterfield.
But neighbors say the venue has a history of crossing the line. Neighbor Mark Gershenson says previous code violations make it hard to trust them.
The concern is not hypothetical. The business renovated the property without the proper permits, has already conducted outdoor events that violated existing restrictions, and has been summoned to court. That history makes it difficult for my family and nearby residents to have confidence that the expanded permissions will be exercised conservatively.
The restaurant owners admitted they were fined for hosting an outdoor wedding, but say they didn't know about the strict historic guidelines when they first bought the property. They added the unpermitted patio work. It was a landscaping pivot after a failing septic tank forced them to tear up the yard. Chesterfield council members will cast the final vote on their expansion at their next meeting.
Another member of the Schnook family is moving into a top leadership role. Here's KMOX's Michael Calhoun with more.
Todd Schnook Jr., great-grandson of Schnook's founder Anna Donovan Schnook, has been named CFO of 1939 Group. That is the family's parent company that also owns Wisconsin's Festival Foods. He says he'll focus on the numbers. Quote, "Our focus is clear, ensuring our finance, accounting, and PPO operations enable our retail teams to successfully serve our customers and guests." The promotion makes him the second great-grandchild to land a major role recently. His cousin Ted Schnook was named COO of the Schnook's banner late last year. 1939 Group runs 163 stores across 4 states with nearly 19,000 employees.
Ballpark Village is getting its Starbucks back. The location reopened in May after closing in October 2024. The new Starbucks is owned by the CEO of a Detroit-based firm that also operates Chick-fil-A restaurants, according to the Business Journal.
There's a Starbucks within walking distance at the Hilton at the ballpark, so you could just walk back and forth if you want. On either side of the Ballpark Village parking lot, there's a Starbucks. It's 7:08. Traffic and weather next.
Grammy award-winning quintet Punch Brothers returns to Powell Hall for a special evening of genre-defying contemporary bluegrass music, featuring the virtuosic talents of mandolinist Chris Thiele, guitarist Chris Eldridge, bassist Paul Cowart, banjoist Noam Pikelny, and violinist Brittany Haas. Punch Brothers creates music and lyrics that are both intellectually daring and emotionally resonant. This is modern string music at its most thrilling, bold, brilliant, and unforgettable. Wednesday, June 24th at Powell Hall at the Jack C. Taylor Music Center. Tickets at slso.org.
The legendary Fast Eddie at Fast Eddie's Bon Air and St. Louis baseball legend Jason Isringhausen. Izzy, what's going on, man?
Hey, you know what, Eddie boy, I've been pretty busy. Got to get out there and got to do the mowing.
Yep, I'll tell you what, when you get done mowing the grass.
Well, I do my best Forrest Gump impression with all of that mowing I have to do around the property.
Do it for St. Louis, do it.
Like Mama said, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, except at Fast Eddie's Bon Air. What are we going to get at Fast Eddie's?
Let me get it right. You can come on over to Fast Eddie's Bar Bon Air, located on the other side of Clark Bridge in beautiful Alton, Illinois. When you're done mowing the grass, come over here and lounge around with me on the beautiful outdoor patio with all the big screens, the live music playing, the hot chick on a stick.
What about that fancy surf and turf you came up with?
Man, I'm telling you what, that is meat and seafood on one stick. And it's called the Eddie. It's the king of all foods.
Like Mr. Shannon always said, if you're 21 and in the mood, come on over to that Clark Bridge and come see Fast Eddie's Bon Air in beautiful Alton, Illinois.
Hi, this is Steve Butts from the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. In 2026, our agency celebrates a momentous occasion as we celebrate 65 years of service to our clients, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Norm Butts. Our staff is ready to assist you with all your insurance needs. So please call me, Steve Butts, at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com. For auto, home, and commercial insurance needs, that's crawfordbutts.com.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
It's 7:10. Here's Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, time into downtown St. Louis, seeing a little extra volume now northbound on Route 3. Looks like it's slowing down at Monsanto, so could have a train crossing there as you make your way towards the Poplar Street Bridge. Headed north of there and on the Poplar Street Bridge, we are delay-free westbound on 5564. Headed northbound on Highway 270, not seeing any issues now between Highway 44, the Doherty Ferry in Manchester, all the way up through to Highway 64 run. Eastbound on Highway 70, eastbound on Highway 64, we are delay-free coming in from the Wentzville area into St. Louis County from St. Charles County, and no problems to report as well crossing the Mutual Veterans Bridge this morning, so that's a good run. You do have that little pocket of volume through the work zone westbound on Highway 64 at Illinois 159. Our next traffic update at 7:20. Frank Ladd, the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather, intervals of clouds and sun today with a thunder shower in spots. It'll be cooler with lowering humidity and a high of 78. Clear to partly cloudy, low 62 tonight, then mostly sunny tomorrow. We'll have a high of 84. Intervals of clouds and sunshine, high 87 on Saturday. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Ayer on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is cloudy with some sunshine coming through, 71 degrees in downtown St. Louis.
A Franklin County man is accused of burglary and assault in a gasoline attack. The sheriff's department was called to a convenience store at 2 a.m. Saturday for a woman who said she was asleep when someone got in her home and sprayed her and a man with gas. The two men fought, so the woman left and called 911. Later that night, 32-year-old Christopher Veland was charged. We're told the victims and suspect knew each other.
A Collinsville man is being charged with child exploitation in Nepal. 58-year-old Kenneth Coombs sexually abused 8 underage boys while staying in Nepal in August of 2016. At the same time, he had failed to register as a sex offender in Missouri. He was required to do so. Coombs served 9 years in prison in Nepal for pedophilia and was arrested following his deportation from Nepal to the U.S. in September of last year, and he's been held in custody ever since.
A 36-year-old Pine Lawn man has been sentenced to nearly 4 years in prison for the accidental shooting of his girlfriend's son. Roderick Miller pleaded guilty to leaving a semi-automatic gun on the couch after cleaning it. After the child was shot in the calf, Miller and his girlfriend took the child to the hospital. On the way, prosecutors say Miller hid the gun behind a tree in a wooded area. The pair told police the child was hit by a stray bullet during a gun battle between two groups. North County Cooperative Police officers found the gun.
The St. Louis Public Schools central office downtown closed earlier this month after the bacteria that causes Legionnaire's disease was found in their water system. When will the building reopen?
According to a press release, their latest test results will allow them to reopen the office to employees after the July 4th holiday weekend. The press release says the test found no Legionella bacteria in their drinking water and very low non-concerning levels in the building's cooling tower treatment tank. The district says they will replace the cooling treatment tank and continue preventative flushes and maintenance of water lines. They will also continue testing ahead of reopening. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Well, let's take a look at a digital library. Students and teachers in Illinois now have access to way more free online resources. An initiative of the Illinois Secretary of State went live Tuesday, a free digital library that residents, libraries, schools, and universities can use to access more than 50 online databases. Regional Director of the 6 Mile Regional Library District in Granite City, Tyne Hubert, says this will have a profound impact on local students and teachers.
One of the things we've recently done here in Granite City is we've been distributing library cards through the schools, making sure that all of our students in our service area do have a library card and can have access to whatever we have available. And we like for the teachers to have the same access so that they know what their students have available to them.
All right, so when it comes to the World Cup, Missourians are obviously rooting for the USA, but what's their second favorite team? According to a new survey by Covers.com, it, of course, is Bosnia and Herzegovina. That scored nearly 12 times higher than the national average, reflecting, of course, what anyone in South St. Louis knows. Germany and the Democratic Republic of Congo also made the top 5. I have to say that footage I kept seeing when Bosnia had its friendly here in St. Louis, the crowds in the streets, made me cry. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I drove through the Bevo neighborhood on, last week, whatever day that was, where they played their first World Cup game, and it was cool to see all the Bosnian fans at one of the watering holes there, spilling out into the street, watching it on the big screen. They'll do it all today again. 2:00 start for Bosnia and Herzegovina against Switzerland. Czechia kicks off the World Cup today with an 11 a.m. game against South Africa. Canada will play Qatar today at 5, and tonight it's Mexico and South Korea. Scores from yesterday: England was a winner. They knocked off Croatia 4-2. Portugal, really surprising that they were in a 1-1 draw with Congo. Austria beat Jordan the day before 3-1. Ghana with a 1-0 win over Panama, and Colombia beat Uzbekistan 3-1. Let's shift our attention to the U.S. Open. It is getting underway at Shinnecock Hills, and KMOX's Dan Reardon has the very latest on that, including a little bit of history about that golf course.
The history of recent U.S. Open outcomes at Shinnecock is both famous and infamous. In 1986 and again in 95, Greg Norman initiated and then validated a playing profile in majors that haunted him his entire career. He lost both championships on Sunday from the final group. In 2004, it was Phil Mickelson, a 6-time runner-up in the Open, taking 4 shots from the greenside bunker at the par 3 17th on Sunday to hand the championship to Retief Goosen. Then in 2018, when Brooks Koepka was making history with his second consecutive U.S. Open win, it was Mickelson who authored one of the most disgraceful moments in tournament history. Frustrated by his inability to deal with difficult conditions on Friday, the left-hander intentionally broke the rules, hitting the ball while still moving on the green, daring the USGA to disqualify him. The USGA has already written a new chapter in championship history this week, scheduling the greens to be watered between the morning and afternoon wave today and tomorrow. A U.S. Open first. Reporting on the U.S. Open, Dan Reardon for KMOX Radio Sports.
Dan, thanks very much. Cut of the Game, sponsored by the Diamond Shop, thediamondshop.net. We go to Busch Stadium, Cardinals and Padres, and the Cardinals need some offense. And these days, they turn to, among others, Alec Burleson.
Another 0-2 pitch to the Cardinal first baseman. Swung on, and there's a hit to right field, and the Cardinals are on the board. Taking the turn at second and stopping is Herrera. The hitting streak grows to 17 for Burleson, who just drove in his 53rd run, 3-1 San Diego.
Alec Burleson, a career-high hitting streak now at 17 games, an RBI single in the 5th, second longest active streak in Major League Baseball, longest by a Cardinal this season, and the longest by a Cardinal since Matt Carpenter had an 18-game streak in 2013. Alec Burleson is on fire. The problem is that's the only run they scored. Cardinals lost 6-1 to the Padres. They do take 2 out of 3. They're 5.5 out, and they visit the Kansas City Royals tonight. We'll have that game for you with a 6:40 first pitch, meaning our pregame begins at 5:45 right here on the home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome to Willie's Wings, home of the secret sauce.
I'll take a dozen wings. Oh, by the way, I love that sauce. What's in it?
Can't tell you.
Why not?
It's a secret.
While many financial advisors claim to have the secret sauce, they don't. In fact, if their sauce is so good, why are they keeping it a secret? Steve All of the All Financial Group doesn't keep anything a secret. He knows there's much more to retirement planning than stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. He'll develop a strategy designed specifically for you. It's your own secret sauce for retirement. Call Steve today at 636-230-8824 for your personal portfolio x-ray. Call 636-230-8824 or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Fine, you want to know what's in the sauce?
Absolutely.
Tablespoon of paprika.
Really?
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
Where can you find loads of restaurants, bars, and shops on one street, including Upshot Coffee, Frankie Martin's Garden with live music? That would be Main Street, Cottleville. And when you go to McKelveyHomes.com, you can learn about Cottleville Trails and save money, too, on a new home. Up to $83,000 off move-in ready homes. Just a short walk from Main Street, Cottleville. Or maybe you want to get one of those cool golf carts and head over to Main Street, Cottleville. Wouldn't that be the life? Folks, it is time to do it. A fresh start with McKelvey Homes. They have homes popping up all throughout the area. They also have Strawberry Farms in O'Fallon, Missouri, the new display open with special opening savings. You know, McKelvey's been building here since 1898. So you get legendary quality, prime locations, people who stand for our community as well. McKelveyHomes.com to learn more and move up to McKelvey.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Total Information AM. The news continues on 104.1 FM KMOX.
7:21, and we do have some sunshine through the clouds this morning. We'll get a closer look at the forecast in just a moment. Here's Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We've got some sunshine, and we've got some essentially delay-free roads out there, incident-free as well, into St. Louis County from St. Charles County. Eastbound Highway 70 looks good. Coming in from Wentzville, passing Highway 79, the Blanchette Bridge. Similar story eastbound on Highway 64, passing Lake St. Louis, Highway 94, and the Boone Bridge in St. Louis County. Northbound on Highway 270. A little more volume north of Highway 55 up to about Gravois. North of there, you're wide open, headed up towards Highway 64. Into downtown St. Louis, you've got that little pocket of volume, little hesitation, slow down westbound 64, ramping on to westbound Highway 55-64 at the Highway 70 merge. And you do have a little bit of a backup northbound on Route 3 approaching Monsanto, a train crossing there. Our next traffic update at 7:30, Frank Ladd, the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Weather-wise, we're looking at intervals of clouds and sun today, a thunder shower in spots, cooler, lowering humidity, high 78. Clear to partly cloudy tonight, low 62. Tomorrow, sunny and beautiful and a high of 84 degrees. Saturday's good, too, just a little warmer. Times of clouds and sun and a high of 87. Currently, we are 71 in Florissant, 71 in St. Peters. Cloudy and a little blue sky popping through there. 71 downtown at the Arch.
It is 7:22 and the news continues. Luigi Mangione plans to assert a psychiatric defense at his state murder trial. claiming he was suffering from extreme emotional disturbance when he gunned down United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. KMOX's Megan Lynch gets more on what this could mean from ABC News investigative reporter Peter Haralambos.
This seems like a big shift. What's the claim by his defense?
Yeah, this is a sea change for his defense lawyers, who've basically gone from arguing that Mangione was not the person who killed Brian Thompson to instead arguing that in the moment of that alleged crime, he was undergoing an extreme emotional episode that was basically outside of his control. That would effectively drop this down from a murder case where he faced the possibility of life in prison to manslaughter, which comes with a maximum of 25 years in prison. The issues, though, are we haven't really learned much about this alleged emotional episode. We don't have any background in terms of the legal strategy here beyond the fact that they're going to make this defense. And Mangione also faces a separate federal trial on stalking charges, and that kind of defense is not allowed in federal court. So if they intend on fighting that federal case, it's unclear how they're going to do that, when in state court, they're basically acknowledging that Mangione was the killer here.
What would his defense have to show to claim that he did have a psychotic break?
So it's a three-part test under New York state law. First, you have to prove that Mangione at the time of the alleged crime was under the influence of this emotional episode. Second, that the emotional episode basically deprived him of any control, that he basically lost the ability to intentionally do this. And last, that the reason for that emotional breakdown was reasonable, that it was outside of his control when it happened. If they're able to prove that three-part test, the jury, even if they think he is guilty, has the option to drop the case from murder to manslaughter and significantly reduce the amount of time he spends in prison.
Any reaction from prosecutors?
So far, prosecutors have not necessarily opposed the use of this defense. It's basically outside of their control, though they've been insistent that they want to see the records from Mangione's his psychological records. They want those records to be turned over immediately. They want to transfer him to Rikers, which is that city prison complex, rather than the federal facility he's in, so he can undergo testing. And they also want to be sure that this trial continues to go forward on September 8th, that defense lawyers do not use this new defense as an excuse to delay things even further.
That was going to be my next question, is whether this could delay his trial.
So far, the judge is insistent that this trial is going to go forward on September 8th. That being said, this defense really opens a whole new can of worms. So it's possible that even though they're insistent on this thing moving forward on schedule, we see some potential delays, even though it's unlikely it moves it forward more than potentially a few weeks.
Peter, thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
That's Megan Lynch with ABC's Peter Haralambos on the Quiver River Electric Guest Line. Megan goes in depth with a senior fellow at the Council on Criminal Justice this morning at 8:10.
A proposed rule aimed at expanding access to Missouri's prescription drug monitoring program is currently on hold.
The change would have allowed licensed clinical and social workers in behavioral health to view patient data. Dean Linneman, executive director of the statewide program, explained the proposal to Missouri lawmakers during a hearing before the Joint Committee on Administrative Rules.
Those individuals that, again, will be working only at the approval of a physician or another practitioner level that has access and the authority to prescribe, dispense controlled medications in the state of Missouri.
The proposal failed on a 7-1 vote. Missouri's prescription drug monitoring program was only launched statewide in December of 2023, making it the last in the nation to implement one aimed at preventing misuse of prescription drugs. Access to the system remains limited, mainly to licensed prescribers, pharmacists, and certain healthcare providers. Beth Coughlin, KMOX News.
Job cuts are on the horizon at the Missouri Department of Conservation. Deputy Director Aaron Jeffrey says rising costs of employee benefits and infrastructure have led to the decision to eliminate 106 jobs agency-wide by March.
We actually met with impacted staff a couple weeks ago. We sent out an email to the entire agency notifying of the upcoming plans. We've actually already posted jobs that will be open for staff to apply for.
The department is funded through permit prices and a conservation sales tax, which Jeffries tells MissouriNet are barely keeping up with inflation despite making minor changes to permit prices.
It's 7:27. Time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Gamma Tree Experts, a St. Louis tree service that's been providing high-quality tree care and shrub care since 1954. Frank Gamma started the business back then, 1954, and the family is still going very strong, better than ever. Family owned and operated. Gamma Tree Experts is known for quality and integrity. You know, customers like that. They like professionalism. They like responsiveness. They like doing business with a company where quality is of prime importance. Tim Gamma. Boy, I really like him. Consider him a friend. Been working with him for so long. Tom Gamma, also great guy, great friend. Both of them certified arborists and horticulturists and urban foresters. They have a whole staff. You can read about them online and all their credentials at gammatree.com. Gamma Tree Experts, gammatree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
If you are looking for a place for independent living for older adults, the place is Fairwinds River's Edge in St. Charles. It was voted U.S. News and World Report's best independent living for 5 consecutive years. They have social events for the residents there, wellness programs. Just go to fairwindsriversedge.com. Schedule a tour and hear about all of the great new updated spaces, all the dining, the social events, the best. fairwindsriversedge.com.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
If you own a business, you've heard it all. From fast funding to easy approvals, everyone says the same thing. LendSeek is different. We show you what you actually qualify for. LendSeek's AI-enabled platform matches you with funding options with no guesswork. Up to $5 million in as fast as 24 hours. If you've been in business over a year, doing at least $50,000 per month, apply for free with zero out-of-pocket costs and access to over 100 lenders. Start ready, stay ready. LendSeek.com. LendSeek.com.
It is 7:30, and we do have clouds, but also a bit of sunshine in downtown St. Louis. 71 degrees. I'm Debbie.
I'm Tom Ackerman. Here's Roger Brand's for today. That would be Frank Ladd, Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Thanks, Tom. We've got a stop and go pocket now westbound on Highway 64 passing Forest Park from Hampton out to about McCausland. Southbound 170 starting to fill in a little more as well, especially that left lane from about Forest Park Parkway headed down towards Highway 64. Eastbound Highway 64, a pocket of volume as well through that central corridor now passing 170 headed up towards Big Bend. And then just pockets of volume now northbound on Highway 270 starting at 55, back on the brakes again coming up towards Dorset Road and Manchester Road headed towards Highway 64. Our next traffic update at 7:40, Frank Ladd of the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We are going to have a mix of sun and clouds today. We also could see a thunder shower in spots, but it's going to be cooler than yesterday and lower humidity, which will be nice. 78 degrees will be our high. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and 84. Clouds and sun, 87 on Saturday. It's 71 out there right now.
It is 7:32 here on Total Information AM on KMOX. Metropolitan Sewer District has issued a precautionary sewer backup advisory for the several blocks surrounding the street collapse at Broadway and Biddle.
MSD's Beth McCoy tells KMOX this is an unusual advisory.
Right now, with this street collapse and water main break, we have a 12-foot by 12-foot sewer that is going to be taken offline. We're doing that to protect the hole and ultimately to try to reduce any more damage to that hole that could threaten the integrity of the interstate.
McCoy says this means there's a 12-foot sewer main that is not operational. Now, during dry weather, that would be fine because MSD has pumps to make sure regular flow is being diverted. But during rain, that's not the case. There are 3 zones, red, orange, and yellow. red being the highest risk. The risk expected to continue until the sewer main is repaired and returned to service. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
Dangerous weather continued in the Midwest overnight with several suspected tornadoes blasting through parts of Illinois, bringing damage and destruction to a number of towns. ABC News chief meteorologist Ginger Z is in Effingham with the latest.
Widespread damage devastating the village of Blue Mound. The powerful twister crushing silos, pieces of wood impaling homes, downing power lines, debris scattered everywhere. The roof of Meridia Elementary School peeled back, exposed classrooms visible from above.
Half the school's roof is in my backyard. I'm in shock.
The city of Charleston, Illinois, declaring a state of emergency after downed trees and power lines left most of the city's roads in hazardous condition for residents and motorists. That's according to the Coles County Emergency Management Agency.
It's 7:33, and your news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
It is 7:35, and we will get you updated on the roadways and the weather coming up in just 5 minutes, so stick around for that. It's time for your Money Report, sponsored by Busey Bank.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Shares of Intel are surging this morning. President Trump says the chipmaker will work alongside Apple to design and produce semiconductors globally. He did not elaborate on the tie-up in his post on Truth Social. Landing Apple as a customer would represent a massive win for Intel and potentially help attract additional new business. President Trump signing an interim deal to end the war with Iran and reopen the Strait of Hormuz, speeding up the timeline for the agreement to go into effect. That's driving stock futures higher this morning after yesterday's significant drop. And outdoor retailer Bass Pro Shops isn't just selling fishing gear. It's also buying a destination where you can use it. The company is purchasing a historic fishing lodge in the Florida Keys. Sources tell us Bass Pro Shops is paying more than $300 million for the 254-room Chica Lodge and Spa. The retailer owns a number of other hotels. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
This is the run my own business dream. This is the college is paid for dream. This is the retire early dream. This is Busey, where your dreams and possibilities become moments. Through trusted guidance and expertise, through lifelong relationships. Because we're here to help you achieve the life you've always envisioned. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
A common question I receive is, how is the market right now? It just seems so volatile. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. If you want to buy or sell but feel overwhelmed by the whiplash of the market, then let's talk. With over 23 years as a broker, I have the exact experience you need to help you navigate this tricky market. Call me at 314-441-4444. 314-441-all-4s. And remember, why pay more than two?
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
When it comes to your hearing, you deserve expert care. At the Audiology Center, you're treated by certified audiologists Dr. Colleen Bosler, Dr. Adam Foss, and Dr. Bailey Campbell, meaning 8 years of advanced education, clinical expertise, and a commitment to best practices.
Charlie, we offer hearing aids from all major manufacturers, so you get what's best for you. Every patient receives individualized testing, precise fittings using real ear measurements, and personalized programming to ensure your hearing aids perform exactly as they should. And our care doesn't stop once you leave the office. We're committed to helping your hearing aids last. through ongoing adjustments, maintenance, and long-term support at no extra cost. Better hearing is personal, not one size fits all. Call us today at 636-441-7470 or visit us online at theaudiologycenterstl.com. And let's take that first step together.
The summer's finally here, and it's time to take advantage of Zero Res's best deal of the summer. Don't let rising gas prices stop you from having a clean and healthy home. Zero Res is keeping comfort affordable with powerful cleaning at a price families can feel good about. Zero Res can handle every surface in your home: carpets, tile, grout, hardwood, laminate, upholstery, rugs, air ducts, and more. This week only, 3 rooms for $129 plus a 4th room for free. Visit ZeroResSTL.com and ask for the DGS special.
I'm with Mark Cantor of Cantor Injury Law. And Mark, why is it so important for you to be a local law firm?
Well, being local means more than just advertising here, more than just a billboard on the highway. It means showing up here. It means supporting local events and local charities.
But why is local so important?
It's important because we know the law, we know the judges, we know the roads, and we understand the community.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertising.
You can count on Cantor. Visit CantorInjuryLaw.com.
Get inside your Redbirds in the 2026 season every Tuesday at noon. It's All Access with Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol on your voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Hey, it's coming up on 7:40. Let's ask Frank Ladd if he can give us the latest on the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Hey, Tom, looks like we've got a crash southbound on 170 just south of Forest Park Parkway. Looks like drivers are dodging out of the incident lane there. So you've got a little bit of a backup approaching the parkway from about Ladue Road now, southbound on 170. South of there, it opens up in that left lane approaching Highway 64. Westbound on Highway 64, you've got your pocket of volume passing Forest Park in that normal stretch. Southbound 170 off the pace coming through the road construction zone near Ladue. Those delays start near Page and head down to Highway 64. They're not major delays, mind you, but they're just there. Northbound on Highway 270, you've got a pocket of volume at Tesson Ferry. Back on the brakes north of Highway 44. Make your way up towards Highway 64. Speaking of 44, that is our USPS Ground Advantage reliable route today. If you're headed towards downtown St. Louis, eastbound on Highway 44, wide open between 270 and downtown St. Louis. We are sponsored by Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Our next traffic update at 7:50. Frank Ladd and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It is 7:40, and it looks pretty nice outside right now, actually. I'm seeing some blue skies, still some clouds out there, but it's going to be really nice. Not as hot as yesterday by any stretch. Let's get all the details from our AccuWeather meteorologist, Heather Zaire.
We'll catch up with Heather in just a bit. I will say that we have a fog delay at the U.S. Open, which is in the Hamptons. They have a bit of a fog issue going on right now in the lovely area of Long Island, New York. So the first round of the U.S. Open is going to be delayed. They did have some players out on the course, but they have called them off, at least for the moment. We'll get an idea of what this major championship looks like from Dan Reardon on the way at 7:45. Let's see if we can check back in with AccuWeather's Heather Zaire on our weather. Heather, and we do look like we're going to have a beautiful day tomorrow.
Yeah, and I think that really for the next couple of days, most of our time is dry. So we're done with the worst of the stormy weather. We do have some shower and thunderstorm chances that are still going to be around for today, but they're going to be considerably lower chances. Our odds of rain, about 30%. We have some shower and thunderstorm activity off to the north and northwest that will come through here, I would say probably along about midday. Otherwise, clouds and sun. The humidity is going to be coming down. It's going to be cooler. We'll have a high of 78, and then we end up fairly clear with a low of 62 tonight. And as you said, sun tomorrow, 84 degrees and pretty low humidity for this time of year. A few more clouds, but still dry for Saturday with a high of 87. Father's Day is getting more humid. It'll be breezy with a couple of thunderstorms that are likely heaviest late in the day. We'll be on the lookout then for flash flooding and damaging winds. High 81 ahead of those storms, then 78 with clouds and a shower on Monday. 69 in St. Peters and in and Florissant right now, 72 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zayer on 104.1 FM KMOX.
All right, thanks, Heather. For the first time since Kevin Warsh became the new Federal Reserve Chair, the board held a policy meeting and issued a decision to keep interest rates unchanged for now, but the board signaled possible rate hikes ahead. We get more from ABC's Michelle Franzen.
The economy on the mind of the Federal Reserve Board during their two-day meeting. Members voted to keep interest rates unchanged. Kevin Warsh held his first meeting as Fed chair and at a press briefing says despite strong economic indicators, they will keep rates steady.
Economic activity is expanding at a solid pace, despite elevated uncertainty that owes in part to the conflict in the Middle East.
At least half of the Fed officials who are forecasting interest rates now say they expect interest rates to go up this year. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Georgia Republicans change course on redistricting for now.
The announcement garnered raucous applause from demonstrators inside the Capitol. House Speaker John Burns says lawmakers want to ensure the process is transparent and thoughtful.
Just as we do with every other issue that comes before the House.
Senate Democratic leader Harold Jones believes Republicans were afraid of backlash at the polls in November.
People stood up, and I think they saw that, and they actually backed down.
In a statement, Governor Kemp says he does not believe there's a reason to delay the process, but he acknowledges it's within the legislature's discretion to defer the issue. Jonathan O'Brien, ABC News, Atlanta.
Families of women killed by Gilgo Beach serial killer Rex Heuermann were in court yesterday to speak as the man convicted of 7 murders was sentenced.
Families coming face to face with the monster. In a 17-year killing spree, Rex Heuermann murdered 8 women he hired as escorts. When it was his turn to speak, Heuermann gave those families nothing.
The words I would say have no meaning.
The judge, indignant, sent Heuermann to prison for life. Families shouting him out of the room after a 33-year nightmare.
That's ABC's Aaron Katursky reporting.
The FBI is now searching for more suspects in the alleged plot on Sunday's White House UFC fight. 5 men in custody so far, with the FBI saying there may be as many as 23 other people involved in the plan to attack the event with explosive drones. ABC's Alex Mallon with details.
This plot where they would have launched explosive drones at the actual fight and then followed that as people were fleeing the South Lawn. They planned to position snipers who would take out high-value targets. Now, it's really unclear, based on the court documents that we've seen thus far, how close this plan was to fruition. There's been no drones seized, but we have seen a lot of weapons seized, and that raises a lot of questions about the others in this signal chat that the FBI is currently on the lookout for.
New York Knicks fans are ready for today's historic ticker tape parade through the Canyon of Heroes. A parade to celebrate the new NBA champions in an event the city says will be one of a kind. Here's ABC's Phil Tate in Lower Manhattan.
They're saying, the city, that this may be the largest parade ever. It's all to celebrate the new NBA champions, the New York Knicks, who topped the San Antonio Spurs in the NBA Finals. This will be the team's first ever ticker tape parade, and to ride down the city's Canyon of Heroes, what a day it will be.
Meanwhile, on Long Island at Shinnecock Hills, they're in a fog delay at the U.S. Open. Just a couple of groups were able to get out there before they suspended play, at least for a little bit. We'll get back to it. In the meantime, KMOX's Dan Reardon has the very latest on what has been a wonderful golf course through the years. As for the group now,
this week at the U.S. Open at Shinnecock, players will find the widest fairways since the scoring records for the century-old event were washed away at Erin Hills in 2017. Brooks Koepka was the champion there, the first of his consecutive Open wins. Koepka has spent the first half of 2026 trying to reclimb the elite ranks of the PGA Tour as he returns from LIV. He faces an even bigger challenge than the golf course this week. He was forced to withdraw a week ago from the Canadian Open when nerve problems caused numbness in 2 fingers of his left hand. He reports the situation has improved, and a win this week would tie him with Hale Irwin with 3 national titles. World number 1 Scottie Scheffler is looking for a hat-trick celebration on Sunday. His first Open win, completing a career slam, a Father's Day trophy to share with his 2 young sons, and his 30th birthday. Reporting on the U.S. Open, Dan Reardon for KMOX Radio Sports.
The Cardinals are in Kansas City for a 6:40 game tonight, 5:45 for the pregame. It's the start of a 4-game series between the Cardinals and the Royals. A lot of Cardinals fans will be making their way to Kansas City, probably listening to us right now. Hello there, as you make your way westbound on 70. Matthew Liberatore starting against another lefty, Noah Cameron, tonight. Again, it's a 6:40 first pitch for Cameron. The Cardinals could use some innings out of Liberatore, but lately they've gotten some good starts. They had a spectacular start on Monday by Dustin May, who went the distance. They had 7 innings out of Andre Pallante in the second game, another victory over the Padres. Yesterday, Kyle Leahy went 6. That's what you ask him to do. He gave up 3 runs on 7 hits, walked 1 and struck out 7, but the Cardinals had very little offense to speak of, just an RBI hit from Alec Burleson. That's it, as the Cardinals lost 6-1. The bullpen, in particular Chris Roycroft, gave up 3 runs in the 9th inning. That proved to be the extra runs that San Diego needed in a 6-1 victory. Cardinals do win 2 out of 3, and they win the season series. They are 5.5 games out in second place in the National League Central, but they are the number 1 wildcard team right now in the National League. Innsbruck Resort, where every day is the weekend. Ins and Outs, sponsored by Innsbruck Resort, where every day is the weekend. That is absolutely true. Every day feels like the weekend once you go to Innsbruck. A great place to relax and unwind, a great place to play golf, a great place to fish, a great place to hang out by the pool. They have 2 pools there now. They have 7,500 acres. That is like the size of a very large national park in America. That's how big this place is. 100 lakes, 7,500 acres, homes throughout the property that are hidden, so you have lots of privacy. It's just a very, very nice place to relax and unwind and take a vacation with your friends and family. My grandma told me once upon a time everybody should have a hideaway that they can get to, just a place to get away for a little bit. And that's what Innsbruck is all about, Innsbruck-resort.com. Now, as for our parlay of the day, sponsored by Circa Sports, sports betting the way it should be, I think you can have some fun with this on the Circa Sports app now that the U.S. Open is underway. They have what's called tournament matchups. So I was scrolling through these. You can look and see who's playing with each other and then take a little wager, like Colin Morikawa against Jordan Spieth. Morikawa minus 140, Jordan Spieth plus 120. I kind of like Spieth there, to be honest with you. Bryson DeChambeau minus 25 against Minwoo Lee plus 105. I like Lee there. Minwoo Lee. I don't trust DeChambeau. He has not been playing well, especially early in these matchups. So take a look at those and see if you can do a little parlay of the day, sponsored by Circa Sports, sports betting the way it should be.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circa Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. For everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circa Sports app, then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circa Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older and in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Come out to Hot Shots on Lindbergh this Friday between 12 and 2 p.m. to celebrate 150 years of Budweiser. Don't miss out on a fresh day of brewed Budweiser and a chance to win great prizes while mingling with KMOX sports talent and sports manager Tom Ackerman. And while you're there, don't miss the chance to stay and watch the U.S. versus Australia game on the big screens while enjoying a Budweiser. All happening Friday at Hot Shots on Lindbergh. For more information, go to KMOX.com/events.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM KMOX. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM KMOX.
7:51. I see more sunshine and more blue skies in downtown St. Louis. We will get a look at the forecast after we check in with Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Debbie, crews cleared the crash pretty quickly southbound 170 at Forest Park Parkway and seeing traffic moving quite well through that stretch. So headed down towards Highway 64, you'll just see that little bit of a slowdown in that left lane on southbound 170. This update brought to you by Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is your premier provider of fences, decks, patios, sunrooms, and more. Call for a free estimate today. Now offering 20% off your next outdoor project. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, chesterfieldfence.com. Our next traffic update at 7:58. Frank Ladd at the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We have, according to AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire, a very nice day today with a thunder shower in spots, but cooler, lowering humidity, high 78. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, low 62. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a beautiful day, and a high of 84 degrees. It's 72 right now.
It is 7:52. Seven-term Wentzville Municipal Court Judge Mike Carter spent years building up his social media following. Now that and what he says on his talk show is coming back to bite him.
That he's been stating things on social media and on his television program against defendants, against women, against other groups. And this is not really a First Amendment issue. It's not that he's being prosecuted for what he's been saying, but the question becomes, does the judicial panel have the right to remove someone from a judge's position for conduct unbecoming of a judge? And that's what will be decided in this case.
That's KMOX legal analyst Brad Young. A judicial ethics panel has recommended Carter be removed from the bench. Brad joins Total Information AM every Wednesday morning at 8:40.
A St. Louis County crackdown on panhandling won't get a vote just yet. The county council proposal would make it illegal to ask for money from drivers in traffic, near banks and ATMs, on highway ramps after dark, or in bad weather. Its own sponsor, Councilman Michael Archer, stepped in.
If we could hold this on the order of business and refer to the council for a committee of the whole, Madam Chair.
So ordered.
That sends it to committee for more work. But the lone resident who spoke, Spencer Harris, claims the council is targeting all homeless people.
The bill is about getting rid of a minor annoyance that this council might see on their day-to-day drive.
Archer says it's a road safety measure.
Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway is announcing another illegal gambling operation that has been busted. This one at a business called Sit and Spin in Park Hills in St. Francis County. Officers seized 13 gambling machines, a payout kiosk, and nearly $25,000 in cash. The owner, Robert Orr, now faces 13 felony counts of promoting gambling. Hanaway says her office is also seeking forfeiture of the cash. She says she'll keep targeting illegal gaming operations statewide.
There's likely to be a lot of competition if Missouri's governor signs legislation creating innovation zones. A centerpiece of the legislation is an incentive plan for converting offices to residential spaces. KMOX's Megan Lynch spoke with one developer who is urging the region to get ready.
Big cities like St. Louis are hoping to cash in on the program, but one developer says leaders need to get their ducks in a row now to compete with smaller communities.
I think there is a real advantage there for these small towns that may have a master plan.
John Berglund is founder of River City Asset Advisors. He led the $75 million restoration of the Post building. One key, he says, will be getting stakeholders together.
Well, I guess you hit the nail on the head, isn't it? It's alignment of those political forces as well as the developers and getting everybody in the room.
Berglund says the innovation zone could have a significant impact toward revitalizing the metro area. Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
Want to buy a grocery store? The Straub's Market in the Central West End is for sale. According to the Business Journal, the asking price is $3.25 million for the shop at the corner of Kings Highway and Maryland Plaza. No word from Straub's on why they're selling that location. They invested $1.5 million about 10 years ago in overhauling the store when Whole Foods was opening nearby. There are currently 4 Straub's locations, all privately owned and run by the Straub family.
Yeah, those other ones, Town and Country, Clayton, and Webster Groves, and that chicken salad. Oh, my goodness. Oh, sorry. It's 7:56 on KMOX.
Amendment 4 on the August ballot hides some ugly facts. It would create a new minority veto power, but only for ballot issues that are citizen-led.
I just say no to that.
Amendment 4 permanently ends majority rule for citizen-led ballot issues.
I'm a no on 4.
Politicians put Amendment 4 on the ballot to severely limit citizens' constitutional power.
I say no on 4.
4 is a power grab by politicians. It lets one congressional district veto reforms backed by the majority of voters statewide. giving as few as 5% of voters control over the rest of us.
That's why I say no to 4.
4 would make it nearly impossible to rein in out-of-control politicians.
I say heck no.
4 takes away our constitutional power we've used for over 100 years to pass reforms that politicians wouldn't. Keep majority rule and your power. Just say no to Amendment 4. It's an ugly politician power grab. Paid for by Missourians for Fair Governance.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
From backyard barbecues to homegrown herbs, the best parts of summer start at Lowe's. Right now, get 3 Fairy Morse 1.3 quart vegetables and herbs for just $12. Plus, get 4 bags of Miracle-Gro 0.75 cubic foot garden soil for only $10. Whether you're planting something new or giving your garden a refresh, now's the time to make the most of your outdoor space. Save more on what you need this summer at Lowe's. We help, you save. Valid through 6/24 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Hi, this is Steve Butts from the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. In 2026, our agency celebrates a momentous occasion as we celebrate 65 years of service to our clients, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Nor Butts. Our staff is ready to assist you with all your insurance needs. So please call me, Steve Butts, at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com. For auto, home, and commercial insurance needs, that's crawfordbutts.com.
Here's Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, those delays southbound on 170 are easing as well, approaching the earlier crash scene at Forest Park Parkway, approaching Highway 64. You do have a pocket of volume as well southbound on 170, coming around the bend from Midland, headed towards Page. Not seeing an issue there, just a little bit of a slowdown. A little bit of a slowdown as well, just volume westbound on Highway 64, passing the Hampton Avenue overpass, headed towards the Oakland area and McCausland. Northbound 270 this morning, not bad between 55 and 44. A little off the pace now between Doherty Ferry and Manchester. Our next traffic update at 8:10. Frank Ladd of the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Cloudy with some sun popping through. It's 72 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Tom Ackerman alongside Debbie Monterey. Megan Lynch is coming up next. Luigi Mangione's defense team is now claiming he was acting under extreme emotional disturbance in the killing of a healthcare CEO. Will a jury be sympathetic? Megan talks with a legal scholar about the case.
And we've likely seen as many tornadoes in Illinois in the first 6 months of the year as all of last year. We'll check in with AccuWeather's Bill Dager.
I like Bill Dager. It's all on the way.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. The Memorandum of Understanding's been signed by the leaders of both the United States and Iran. That means the 60-day window is open for the sides to negotiate on tougher issues like Iran's nuclear program. But there are some immediate effects.
Under the deal, Iran and the country of Oman will administer the strait, something that was not the case before the war. The waterway will reopen toll-free, but it's unclear if that will hold when the 60 days runs out. In return for reopening the strait, Iran will see immediate financial relief. For the first time in years, the U.S. lifting restrictions, allowing Iran to freely sell oil.
To ABC's Mary Bruce, another key part of the deal, Israel's attacks on Hezbollah and Lebanon are supposed to stop. Sources tell ABC News Israel's now negotiating with the U.S. on keeping IDF troops there. Nationwide, AAA says gas is averaging just under $4 a gallon, and torrential rain is falling across parts of the Gulf Coast. This is ABC News. Military officials say the 8 men killed in a B-52 crash at a test flight earlier this week in California included 4 airmen, a reservist, and 3 civilians who are part of a team that's devoted to keeping the B-52 flying through at least 2050. The cause is under investigation. As World Cup fans descend on the country, ABC's Jim Ryan says they have more than ticket scams to worry about. Counterfeit merchandise is another concern.
In the run-up to the FIFA Championship, Customs and Border Protection agents say they seized $6 million in fake jerseys, toys, soccer balls, sunglasses, and a host of other products labeled as official FIFA gear. That's only at the Port of Houston. CBP says the counterfeits came from the same country as most of the genuine items, China.
Police in New York City say an 18-year-old tourist died after he fell from a runaway horse carriage in Central Park. Authorities say the horse was spooked and ran away. The carriage clipped the wheel of another and fell. The man was killed. I'm Brian Clark, ABC News.
At 8:02, we have partly sunny skies, 72 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Thursday, June 18th. I'm Megan Lynch.
Right now, with this street collapse and water main break, we have a 12-foot by 12-foot sewer that is going to be taken offline.
MSD's Bess McCoy talking with KMOX about why the utility made the decision to shut down the 12-foot sewer main where the ground opened up Friday at Broadway and Biddle.
McCoy says it's ultimately to protect homes and reduce any more damage to the hole and minimize damage to Interstate 44 over the sinkhole.
Right now, with this street collapse and water main break, we have a 12-foot by 12-foot sewer that is going to be taken offline.
McCoy recommends if you live in the area, remove things from your basement, especially if they are valuable.
Avoid storing any items directly on the basement floor. And then while it is raining, we recommend minimizing any unnecessary water use. So things like laundry, dishwashing, long showers.
Now, if you live in the area around Broadway and Biddle, you should consider yourself in the advisory zone and take precautions. Maria Kina, KMOX News.
Despite the objections of St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer, the Board of Police Commissioners votes to give command staff double-digit raises.
The resolution increasing annual salaries for commands. The St. Louis Board of Police Commissioners has determined it to be in the best interest of the board to adopt the following resolution.
The police board signed off on lieutenants, captains, majors, and lieutenant colonels to be getting paid more. The department trying to make the case this will help with recruitment, something Mayor Kara Spencer says she was blindsided with 2 weeks ago.
With the resolution that came before us with just 24-hour notice, this is, of course, in the very last few weeks of the city's budget finalization. We had already discussed and put forward a budget through the Board of E&A.
Several people spoke out at the meeting, and the majority, while supportive of police, do not believe the police board should bankrupt the city in the process. Proponents of the ballot measure to eliminate the Missouri income tax will host a town hall tonight seeking to answer skeptics' questions.
State Representative Ben Keithley is a proponent of the plan to eliminate the income tax, and while he isn't a sponsor of this bill, he has written similar bills in prior years. Ahead of the meeting, I asked him what concerns he's already hearing.
How it affects certain segments of the population specifically. I think a lot of the questions are, well, what do these guardrails really look like? What does the legislature stop from doing? Which are always good discussions to have around constitutional language change.
Keithley says the governor and those involved with the bill are focusing on eliminating tax loopholes regarding sales tax with services such as salons and auto repair to fill the void left by the income tax. The town hall is hosted by the Missouri Eagle Forum at the DePere Lodge starting at 5 tonight. The amendment to eliminate the income tax will come before voters in August. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Sean will go in depth with Representative Keithley at 8:22 this morning here on KMOX. If a business bends the rules, should the city let them expand later? That's part of the debate dividing Chesterfield over the historic old house at Hog Hollow. The wine and small plate venue wants to stay open until 7 p.m., 3 hours later than its current limit. Supporter Stacy Haberstroh says the city needs to let small businesses adapt if they're going to survive.
The old house in Hog Hollow has been part of the community for years. Like any business, it must adapt, evolve, and find ways to remain successful. This is a normal part of living in a thriving city like Chesterfield.
But neighbors say the venue has a history of crossing the line. Neighbor Mark Garrison says the previous code violations make it hard to trust them.
The concern is not hypothetical. The business renovated the property without the proper permits, has already conducted outdoor events that violated existing restrictions, and has been summoned to court. That history makes it difficult for my family and nearby residents to have confidence that the expanded permissions will be exercised conservatively.
Responding to those concerns, the restaurant owners admitted they were fined for hosting an outdoor wedding, but say they didn't know about the strict historic guidelines when they first bought the property. They added the unpermitted patio work was a landscaping pivot after a failing septic tank forced them to tear up the yard. Chesterfield council members will cast the final vote on the expansion at their next meeting. The $7 billion Roundup settlement headed back to St. Louis Circuit Court. This comes as U.S. District Judge Henry Autry ruled Wednesday that the people challenging the settlement couldn't send the case to federal court since they are not defendants of the original lawsuit. The Business Journal reporting those individuals were diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and filed objections in May, just 3 months after the lawsuit was filed. The family behind Schnucks grocery stores keeping leadership in the family. Here's KMOX's Michael Calhoun.
1939 Group, the parent company of Schnucks in St. Louis and Festival Foods in Wisconsin, has promoted Todd Schnuck Jr. to Chief Financial Officer. He's a fourth-generation member of the founding family and worked his way up through roles in merchandising, strategic planning, and store operations before the promotion. Quote, I am incredibly energized by the opportunity to step into the role of Chief Financial Officer for 1939 Group and our family of banners during such an important time for our business, Schnuck said in a statement. 1939 Group is named after the year great-grandmother Anna Donovan Schnuck opened the original St. Louis store.
It's now 8:08, traffic and weather in 2 minutes.
Grammy award-winning quintet Punch Brothers returns to Powell Hall for a special evening of genre-defying contemporary bluegrass music, featuring the virtuosic talents of mandolinist Chris Thiele, guitarist Chris Eldridge, bassist Paul Cowart, banjoist Noam Pikelny, and violinist Brittany Haas. Punch Brothers creates music and lyrics that are both intellectually daring and emotionally resonant. This is modern string music at its most thrilling, bold, brilliant, and unforgettable. Wednesday, June 24th at Powell Hall at the Jack C. Taylor Music Center. Tickets at slso.org.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Save big money on your next painting project when you shop at Menards. Get long-lasting color with Pittsburgh's Grand Distinction Exterior Paint and Primer in one. It's highly dirt-resistant and provides a mildew-resistant coating. Save big money on all Pittsburgh paints. Our knowledgeable team is ready to help bring your dreams to life, 1 gallon at a time. Stop by your local Menards and get your project started today.
Save big money at Menards.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Total Information AM. Debbie Monterey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman on 104.1 FM KMOX.
8:10 seems like it's a little better out there this morning than it was yesterday, but let's check in with Frank Ladd. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Absolutely better, Megan. Yeah, so far so good this morning. We are easing up westbound on Highway 64 now passing Forest Park. Similar story, easing up headed towards Highway 64 and southbound 170. You do have that off the pay stretch now eastbound on 64 between McKnight and Big Bend. East of there, a great run headed towards downtown St. Louis. No delays westbound on 5564 approaching and crossing the Poplar Street Bridge. You do have that little bit of a slowdown now eastbound on Highway 70, making your way past 203. That's due to road construction. Northbound 270 this morning, a great run between 55 and 44. We do have reports of an accident now northbound on Highway 270 north of Big Bend, so you've got a little bit of a slowdown now north of Highway 44 approaching that accident scene. Our next traffic update at 8:20, Frank Led in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Cooler today with intervals of clouds and sunshine. We'll have a thunder shower in spots, but the humidity is coming down, high 78. Tonight will be clear to partly cloudy with a low of 62. Then it's a nice day tomorrow. We'll have a mostly sunny sky and a high of 84. Cloud, sun, and a high of 87 on Saturday. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zayer on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Checking those temperatures right now, we do have mostly sunny skies, 72 degrees in Florissant, St. Peter's, and downtown at the Arch. You're listening to Total Information AM here on 104.1 FM KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. Luigi Mangione plans to assert a psychiatric defense at his state murder trial, claiming he was suffering from extreme emotional disturbance when he gunned down United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Let's get more on what this might mean in the case. Joining me this morning on the Quiver River Electric Gas Line, Nora Demleitner, legal scholar and senior fellow at the Council on Criminal Justice. Good morning, Nora.
Good morning, Megan.
So this trial is set to start in September. Why do you think his defense is shifting tactics at this late moment?
Well, it's not obvious to me that they're shifting paths. I think they're developing a defense strategy that is now becoming public. They've really been keeping this under wraps. The prosecution had complained about that, and the judge said, you cannot keep this hidden any longer. You need to come forward. You need to tell us who you're calling to testify, who your experts are in this case. So that's, I think, where we are. They've admitted for the first time that he actually committed the crime, which I don't think was really in doubt. And now they are laying out what they're using to defend him.
What will the defense need to prove?
That's an excellent question, because this is actually for the defense to prove. So the prosecution has to prove that there was intent, and they have to prove that he actually did the shooting and killed the CEO, the healthcare CEO. And then the defense comes in and they have to prove that he acted under extreme emotional disturbance at the time that the killing occurred. That's a pretty high burden, but presumably what they want to do is appeal to the jury's compassion, heart, a way out for Luigi Mangione from a second-degree murder conviction.
What kind of tactics could prosecutors use to poke holes in the defense arguments?
So this defense assumes that there is a triggering moment and that this is really done in the old lingo, kind of the heat of passion. So this is something that they will clearly try to test. What was this moment? And also, what was the buildup in terms of getting him to the moment that he breaks? So this is supposed to be assessed from the viewpoint of a person in his situation. So they'll certainly interrogate what that situation was that led him to become essentially out of control at the moment. So one of the things they're certainly going to point at is how for months he seemed to have been planning, according to his planner, that they found this killing. So how is that kind of a sudden emotional reaction? So that's where they will be hitting really hard.
In general, when we look at, a defense team asserting a psychiatric defense, how successful is that?
It's a difficult defense, but there are certainly many cases in New York where juries bought a extreme emotional distress defense. I think we also shouldn't underestimate in this particular case that the lawyers are trying to find a legal hook that gives the jury a way out from a second-degree murder conviction. So I think there is a whole persona that is being built around Luigi Mangione that makes him particularly appealing, and that will presumably or hopefully for the defense is hoping it will lay the foundation for them to get a lessened homicide conviction.
What do you make of some of the public support that has been and continues to be expressed for Mangione, and how that could impact this case and the jurors?
Isn't that fascinating? I think it's really interesting. I do think from the start there was a sense that there is such widespread dissatisfaction with the healthcare system that people are willing even to not justify, but maybe humanly understand an extreme emotional reaction, even though it's obvious that that person wasn't kind of behind Luigi Mangione health problems. But I think there is some of that kind of just, I think, unifying anti-health care industry feeling in the country. I think then the other component is you have a very attractive, and I say this advisedly, kind of physically attractive young men who I think many people would have thought is kind of the success that a parent would wish, that friends would like to have. And they're really styling him in that way, of course.
I'm curious, this is the state case that we're talking about, but he's also has a federal stalking charge against him that will be heard later in the year. How could this type of defense and basically admitting to this impact his federal case?
Well, it's very clear that the defense came to this conclusion in light of both of the cases. I mean, good defense lawyers, and there is no doubt that he has very good defense lawyers, will be looking at all the charges against him kind of comprehensively and have to fashion a strategy that works kind of in unison. So they will certainly, I would expect them to admit in federal court as well that he was the actual shooter and killed the healthcare CEO. Otherwise, it would be a disconnect that I don't think is defensible. So they'll be fashioning a defense around that as well on the federal side.
Nora, from your experience, any other thoughts that you have about this case and what you'll be watching for as we move forward to the trial in this fall?
I think two really important things. One is we will be seeing the experts and the witnesses that they're planning to call. That will be rolled out over the next few weeks, and then certainly that will be really important at the trial. And then I think the jury selection will really probably make or break this case. And both sides know that, and both sides will be trying to get jurors who are unbiased but swayable. And that'll be a really important moment in that particular case. I think, the third non-legal piece of all of this is to watch the public's reaction to the case. I think they'll try to find jurors who are not influenced by that. I think it'll be hard to find jurors who haven't heard about the case. So all of that will be a really interesting developments, I think, over the next few weeks and months until the trial starts and then throughout the trial.
Sounds like something we need to have you back on to discuss as we get closer.
I would love to do that, Megan, and thank you for inviting me today.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. That is Nora Demleitner, legal scholar and senior fellow at the Council on Criminal Justice. Coming up on Total Information AM, Illinois is already nearing last year's tornado total, and we're not even 6 months through the year yet. We're going to talk with AccuWeather meteorologist Bill Dager coming up. First, though, let's get a check of the roads. Frank Ladd is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center. How's it look out there, Frank?
Well, Megan, we're looking at this new crash northbound on Highway 270. I told you about last time, just north of Big Bend. The two left lanes are blocked there. That has you backed up to about Highway 44 as folks are dodging around the emergency vehicles. Also had reports of a crash southbound 170 at Brentwood. Don't see it on a camera, but I am seeing backups at Forest Park Parkway. And then south of there, past the Brentwood scene where the accident should be, it's wide open. So definitely an incident there southbound 170 at Brentwood. Kings Highway at Chippewa, a crash reported. Swingley Ridge at Olive, they're calling out for a vehicle rescue. This update is brought to you by Ricken Financial. Our next traffic update at 8:30. Frank Ladd, the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Income is the outcome that matters the most in retirement. Join us for Kickin' with the Rickens, Redefining Retirement with Jerry Ricken and Heidi Ricken Provost every Saturday at 3 p.m. right here on KMOX, and get more at rickenfinancial.com.
Sometimes I think, what are the best ways that I enjoy an ice-cold Budweiser? At a ball game, maybe out playing golf with friends, Maybe some of you go to the lake, you're out on the boat, you crack open an ice-cold Budweiser. What you're doing is you are continuing a tradition that goes back 150 years. That's when Budweiser was created right here in St. Louis. People enjoy that ice-cold, delicious lager all over the world. And it all started right here in 1876. Also going back to 1876 is Major League Baseball, and Budweiser is the official beer sponsor of Major League Baseball. Of course, 1776 is when America was founded, and we are celebrating our birthday, 250 years this summer, and Budweiser is celebrating as well with their patriotic cans as they celebrate America's birthday. For the last 150 years, the king of beers. Crack open a Bud. This Bud's for you.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
You're back with Total Information AM here on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. Tornadoes ripped through central Illinois last night, hitting Charleston and nearby towns. We had storms here. It's been a very active year for storms and especially tornadoes in the state. As of last week, there were 145 preliminary tornado reports in the state of Illinois, and that's only two shy of the state record. Last year, 147 tornadoes reported for the whole year. Let's check in with AccuWeather meteorologist Bill Dager. He joins me now on the Quiver River Electric Gas Line. Good morning, Bill.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
We're doing well. You know, I was watching as the storm was moving through Charleston. I have some friends there, and all of this is making a lot of people wonder, why are we seeing such higher tornado counts this year?
Yeah, it's certainly been a frenzied couple of weeks across the Midwest, especially Illinois, and we added a few to the list yesterday, at least 7 reports of tornadoes across the country yesterday, with 5 of them, actually 6 of them, coming in Wisconsin and Illinois, and we got some pretty good video of tornadoes as well, and unfortunately at least 1 injury from them. And it's sort of been a very active couple of weeks, driven by perhaps a developing El Nino in the Pacific Ocean, which can alter weather patterns across the world and the country. And it's certainly leading to a very hyperactive severe weather season, which you get when you get these clashes of air masses, the warm and the cold air masses combined with moisture. And we're just seeing it happening every few days, it seems like, as of late. And we're not done with it yet. We have another threat, it looks like, over the weekend.
not just the number of tornadoes, but also the severity. Do you feel like these storms are more severe? They're bringing things like not just tornadoes, but hail and high winds as well?
Yeah, they certainly are. So there's a difference between severe thunderstorms and tornadoes. Tornadoes can spawn from severe thunderstorms, and those contain large hail and damaging wind gusts. So we've certainly seen an uptick of that over the past few weeks. And if you get the right conditions together, the changing of winds with height in the atmosphere, that's what can lead to those tornadoes. And certainly have seen quite a few strong tornadoes out there over the past 2 weeks. Of course, we had tornadoes last night, and the National Weather Service will be going out today in east central Illinois and taking a survey of the damage and getting back to us on the strength of those as well. But yeah, we've certainly noted that as well. The fact that we've had several, not just weak tornadoes, but strong tornadoes too.
So looking at the fact that we, in the first 6 months of the year in Illinois, have already had as many tornadoes likely as we had all of last year. What could the next few weeks and months bring when it comes to severe weather?
Yeah, so we are in kind of the active period for severe weather. Typically, late April through late June is the severe weather season, and we're right smack in the middle of that. That's because it's a transition time of year between the cooler air of the winter and the warmer air of the summer. You get those air masses bumping up against each other. And like I said, we do have another opportunity for severe weather over the weekend. It looks like in the Saturday time frame, this will be mainly to the west across the plains into Missouri. And then the Sunday evening time frame, once again, the St. Louis area, central Illinois on south is at a risk for severe weather. It's not looking like a big risk compared to yesterday, probably just a damaging wind and flooding downpour risk as opposed to tornadoes again. But yeah, we're looking on the weather maps far out into the future for just some sort of ridge of high pressure that could build in and put an end to the constant flow of clashing air masses and storms moving through the region. And we're not seeing that. It looks like we could have another opportunity for severe weather Wednesday through Friday of next week, sometime in that time frame. And we look for that big H on the weather map, the area of high pressure, to kind of shut off the severe weather faucet, if you will. And we just haven't been seeing that yet. Even looking out a week or two, still don't see it across the region.
Bill, one last quick question. I think for forecasters and even for the media, when we report severe weather, there's kind of this tightrope we walk between really making sure we give people the information they need and not hyping these storms. What would you say about those public concerns about the frequency of warnings?
Yeah, it can be a concern, especially when you have a very active weather event that you issue too many warnings and overhype the severe weather risk. But at the same time, we want to make sure we capture every tornado risk there is, even if that means we have a few where they don't verify, if you will. So we're constantly relying on our reporters and storm chasers in the field. We're relying on the radar, looking for rotating winds. And even at the slightest sign of something going astray or potentially being a tornado, that warning will be issued just to make sure there isn't a loss of life or injuries. And unfortunately, it looks like there was at least one injury yesterday in the tornadoes in central Illinois.
Well, Bill, thank you so much. Appreciate the update.
No problem. Have a good day.
You too. That is AccuWeather meteorologist Bill Dager joining us this morning here on KMOX. It's 8:29, and this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
It's Tom Ackerman. There's nothing like celebrating at the Beer Garden at Anheuser-Busch, and take a tour of the brewery while you're at it. But I've got a great suggestion for a watch party to watch Team USA in the FIFA World Cup. All the great deals on Mick Ultra with collectible FIFA cups while supplies last at the Anheuser-Busch Beer Garden. That Budweiser Tours experience at BudweiserTours.com is the way to go. Gather with your friends and enjoy cold beer, fellowship, and watching some soccer. The FIFA World Cup at the Beer Garden at Anheuser-Busch. What an ultimate venue. We had a great roundtable there last month with some Cardinals alumni. We couldn't have had a better time with a capacity crowd. There's lots of room to relax and enjoy a good watch party at the beer garden. Visit BudweiserTours.com. 2 o'clock is the next game on Friday. BudweiserTours.com.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-838-6767. 800-838-6767. 800-838-6767.
Let's get you updated on the ride into work with Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And we're sponsored by Community America Credit Union. Northbound on Highway 270 still dealing with delays due to this crash north of Big Bend. The two left lanes remain blocked there. That has you backed up to about Highway 44 now on northbound 270. Continue to thin out elsewhere. Northbound on Highway 55 this morning hasn't been any issue at all between 270 and the work zones and through downtown St. Louis. Thinned out as well westbound 5564 into downtown St. Louis crossing the Poplar. Still seeing delays due to the earlier crash southbound on 170 near Brentwood. That has you backed up to almost Ladue on southbound 170. I'm Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Community America Credit Union helps you and me, shortstop Mason Wynn, to win big. Cash back free checking? Win. No service fees or minimum balance? Win. So yeah, you really can win with Community America. So can I. That's a win-win.
From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, we'll have a mix of clouds and sun. We could see a thunder shower in spots today. It'll be cooler with lowering humidity, a high expected around 78 degrees. And then tonight, clear to partly cloudy with a low of 62. Right now, we have mostly sunny skies, 72 degrees downtown at the Arch. An update now on a story KMOX told you about a few weeks ago. People who are sight impaired are about to lose their pensions in Missouri. That's because state lawmakers signed off on a $72 million budget cut to the fund. KMOX's Maria Kina has more.
Jeff Creech, president of Blind and Low Vision Community of Missouri, says that money is going to be allocated to other areas.
My question for our legislators, why, when there's a shortfall, do you continue to take money from the disabled, the elderly, and the school system? I understand that some of this money is going to education, but had you not taken the money from the kids originally, it wouldn't be an issue. We pay their health care and their retirement. Let's take the money from their pension and pay for your own stuff instead of the taxpayers paying it for you. And then when someone is disabled, you might think twice about taking money from them. Missouri is one of the few states which I'm proud to say we give a blind pension to those that are sight impaired and qualify to help cover our transportation and our groceries and living expense. Right now, our blind pension is just over $900 a month. And some people will say, well, that's great. You're getting $900 in free money. But the average sight-impaired person that has to take disability in Missouri is only getting $800 a month. That's the state average. So you take that $800 and add the $900 in blind pension, it's still only $1,700 a month to live on. And with all of these prices going up, everything's just getting worse. When the gas first went up about a month ago, I take Uber 3 times a week, and my ride that was normally $14 was $42 one way. And yet our legislators want to take money away. They'll say it was a surplus. If that's the case, how about giving a little more to the sight impaired where they can afford to live instead of struggling like they do?
And you had mentioned there about the fact they know it's free money. Well, many of visually impaired people who are totally blind even, they can't work.
Correct. I was further along in life when I lost my vision, and I was able to contribute to Social Security and everything in my work days. So a lot of the money that's in there that I get, I actually put in. But the ones that are born blind or lose their sight young and due to an accident haven't worked, but yet we can't just throw them aside and say, we can't give you anything because you didn't contribute. Nobody who's sight impaired ever asked for this to happen. And to keep taking from the disabled, whether it's blind or someone in a wheelchair, they're constantly taking from the disabled, the elderly, and the kids. And it has to stop.
And Governor Mike Kehoe can veto this $72 million cut to the blind pension fund. KMOX contacted the governor's spokesperson and were advised Kehoe, along with his team, give a thorough review to all legislation, and a review is underway now. Adding they won't be able to comment on any specific items until the budget review process is completed at the end of the month. Maria Kina, KMOX News.
Around baseball, they're talking about St. Louis, a youth movement that's not waiting for the future. Names like Walker, Wynn, and Weatherholt aren't projections anymore. They're the conversation right now. And in a city where expectations never change, the conversation gets louder. Join the conversation. The Gas House Gang. Weekdays at noon. This is Cardinals talk that doesn't flinch.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathy Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
Your Money Report now. It's sponsored by Eamon Gattner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys. Here's Bloomberg's Courtney Donahoe.
Beer sales world over are fizzling out, except for Guinness. Demand for the 269-year-old Irish stout has become so strong that owner Diageo has opened a new brewery in its home country, and another is on the way. This is despite health concerns and tighter wallets, which are prompting people to drink less. Ireland and Britain are still its biggest markets, but Guinness is also the most sold draft beer in New York and Boston. And some New York Knicks fans are shelling out hundreds of dollars for professional line sitters to guarantee a front row view of the team's ticker tape parade today. Airtasker is a mobile marketplace for odd jobs and local services. It said it has received more than 35 requests for Knicks parade line sitters, with some offers reaching as high as $950. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Running a business certainly isn't easy, and staying in business for 58 years means you're doing something right. And at Chesterfield Fence and Deck, it's because Chesterfield Fence and Deck is the sign you have the very best. It's a fourth-generation family-owned company, 58 years of doing quality work, and that is really important. So whether you are looking for a fence, a deck, railings, patios, pergolas, sunrooms, screen rooms, whether you just have one simple project or you want to redo your entire outdoor space, Chesterfield Fence and Deck will do a fantastic job. If you mention me, Debbie Monterey, they'll take 20% off your next outdoor project. That should help a lot. You can visit them in their showroom in the Chesterfield Valley to get an idea of the quality and the products and the things that they can do for you, or they'll come to you. Free in-home estimates, free project design. They are great to work with. Chesterfield Fence and Deck in the Chesterfield Valley at chesterfieldfence.com.
This is Jordan Walker. Celebrate Black Heritage Day, presented by your quality Ford dealers on Sunday, June 28th at Busch Stadium. This special culture and community event honors the impact, history, and legacy of the Black community in baseball and beyond. With a special themed ticket, you'll receive an exclusive Cardinals jersey designed by Corey Rogers. And don't miss a special heritage celebration in Budweiser Terrace before the game. Details and tickets at cardinals.com/theme.
The weekend starts at Busch Stadium. Grab your crew and kick it off at Friday Night Live. Every Friday night home game, Budweiser Terrace turns into the hottest happy hour in the Lou. With $5 beers, $5 hot dogs, $7 margaritas, live music, and more all game long. Meet up with friends, soak in the energy, and keep the night going with baseball under the lights. Good vibes, great deals, your new Friday tradition. Get tickets now at cardinals.com.
Zero Res wants to help you clean your home. Big summer savings this week only. Get 3 rooms cleaned for just $129 and get your 4th room cleaned for free. Visit ZeroResSTL.com and ask for the DGS special. ZeroResSTL.com.
Let's get you to work safely. Frank Ladd is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center. How's it look out there, Frank?
Well, we've got a couple incidents to pay attention to, Megan. We're brought to you by the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. Headed northbound on Highway 270, still dealing with this crash, blocking the 2 left lanes at Big Bend. Has you backed up solid towards Highway 44, and then south of there, you've got pockets of volume from Gravois up through the solid backup on northbound Highway 270 and Highway 44. Still dealing with delays due to a crash southbound on 170. Has you backed up to Delmar in pockets down towards Brentwood, and then it's heavy ramping onto eastbound Highway 64 this morning. I'm Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sandberg Phoenix serves your business in litigation, intellectual property, and products liability. We're more than a law firm. We're committed to your success. Learn more at sandbergphoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Coming up on Total Information AM, are you worn down by the daily grind? We're going to get some tips from a local psychologist who has written a bedtime book for adults. First, though, a quick check of the forecast. A mix of clouds and sun today. We may see a couple of thunder showers, otherwise cooler with lowering humidity, a high of 78. Right now, mostly sunny skies, 72 degrees downtown at the Arch. They said, "I'm fine," like a trained little clown, but inside their soul was just shutting it down. They wiped little butts, made 4 types of lunch. They got shamed on the internet for serving fruit snacks at brunch. They answered 49 texts, sent a client a smile, and peed for the first time in, well, a while. The author of that book is with me now, Dr. Erica Rutledge. She is psychologist and founder of Wellness in Actions. That is Goodnight Grind, an adult parody that combines humor with some practical wellness tips. Dr. Rutledge, how much of yourself is in this book?
Oh, I think this is kind of a self-autobiography. Yes. So a lot of it was what I was experiencing in the moment and some kind of catharsis for me to cope with challenging situations.
It's almost like if you don't laugh, you're going to cry, correct?
Yes.
Is there a great value in humor helping us release and cope with this craziness of everyday life?
Yes, I definitely personally love watching just funny shows, comedians, and there's a lot of psychological benefit from being able to hold tough situations a little bit lighter. And I think humor does that by helping us sometimes diffuse or distance ourselves a little bit from the actual stressor and be able to see it in a different perspective than maybe we were originally seeing it in.
Now, I have to read your dedication too, because I think it kind of reveals some things. You're pretty vulnerable. I feel like in this dedication, you say, "For the ones who love me through the unraveling and the world that taught me too loudly how to forget myself. Good night to the cape I wore far too long, stitched from silent strength and the need to belong. Woven in whispers like I've got it, I'm fine, when I broke beneath checklists and handmade signs."
When I was writing this, I myself was struggling with burnout and just feeling really overwhelmed by everything and really just blaming myself for what I was experiencing and not knowing how I could get out of it. And this book was one of those ways that helped lead that charge out of it. But I think it also resonated with a lot of the caregivers I was working with too, where everyone was just feeling the demands of parenting and just life and everything kind of all at once. You can only sustain so much for so long, especially, again, I am a recovering people pleaser and perfectionist. When you set your standards to unreasonable metrics.
In that, you mentioned a cape. Especially as women, do we expect ourselves to just be this superhuman person who has it all together?
Definitely. And I think women are particularly more vulnerable just because of the way our culture is, and then also how we're nurtured. A lot of times, even growing up, we were the ones who, if we had siblings, the ones who were taking care of everybody. And we were always that kind of, you have to be a little bit more prepared maybe than your male brother or have everything together. And I think we're also, as women, more likely to be nurturers and giving and volunteering and not saying no when we need to. So sometimes just having more trouble setting those boundaries. And although we definitely, want to give to others, I think we also need to make sure that we're giving to ourselves and filling our cup when we need to before it gets empty.
What are some easier ways that we can try to relieve ourselves of some of the daily grind?
Yeah. And gosh, yes, do I want a spa day? Yes. But then also it's kind of like the way I have to prepare for a spa day is like 6 months in advance. So, and then sometimes the stress of putting everything off for that day, it's like, oh, it's kind of the rebound effect. So is it worth it? And also that's not as accessible to everyone. And one of the things I strive to do is just make, like small micro, strategies that people can do in their everyday life. I think some small tips are just kind of checking in with yourself, a couple of times a day. Maybe it's every time you're going to the bathroom or some part of your routine and saying like, how am I doing really? Because sometimes we can just keep going and going. And if you've seen the Nemo movie, like just keep swimming and like we're just going through the motions and we are never kind of checking in with ourselves, but we're checking in with everyone else. Putting in those kind of micro practices where we're doing self check-ins, sometimes doing some deep breathing too can also help regulate that nervous system. If we're kind of chronically in that stress state, we need to reset those so that, again, that chronic stress response is not always activated. And also just noticing how we're feeling in the moment. Labeling emotions has been shown to just have all these type of mental health benefits too, of just kind of acknowledging what you're feeling, and fine is not a feeling. So really checking in with, okay, how am I actually doing right now?
So try to start your day off right and maybe not feel so exhausted by the end of the night. What are some more of those micro strategies that you suggest?
I would say definitely having routines built in, like a morning and evening routine. And it's something we typically, if you're a caregiver, like do with your kids, but then you're like, where's my routine? I think even when I was writing this book, I was like reading my kids a book and I'm like, I need a bedtime story. I need something to help me transition. That's right, like something brief and something short that I can use. And so I think checking in and seeing like what kinds of routines do I want to do? And sometimes it's kind of looking in your past. What are things I did in the past that I actually enjoyed? So reconnecting with joy in our life, because life is messy and pain is inevitable, but we need to incorporate joy as much as we can, and those things that are fun for us too, not just for our kids, because that's going to be able to help us balance not only our emotions better, but also model for our kids that you can still be a parent and have a life.
That is Dr. Erica Rutledge, St. Louis-based psychologist and author of the adult parody Good Night Grind, the darkly funny lullaby for folks who have done too much for too damn long. Be sure to listen tomorrow at 8:10. We'll look at the pressure on dads today to have it all.
Hey, it's Tom Ackerman. Let me put this in simple terms. You can't put your estate planning documents in a drawer and forget about them. That doesn't help your family when it matters most. My family has trusted the Laterman Law Firm here in St. Louis with our estate planning for over 20 years. And what sets them apart is they don't treat estate planning like a one-and-done thing. They treat it like what it really is, a living, breathing plan. They build your plan to protect your family, your assets, and your wishes, and then for a fixed annual fee, they help keep it updated as your life changes, because it will. Families need change, assets change, the law changes. And because of this, many people don't realize how many plans out there are still outdated until it's too late. The Laterman Law Firm, an annual process they offer to help keep our plan up to date with changes over time, and they can do the same for you. 314-514-9100, LatermanLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
A divorce is more than just legal paperwork. It's a life change. The stress, the uncertainty, the tough conversations. Cordell & Cordell understands what it's really like to face the unknown. The law firm of Cordell & Cordell has been representing clients during these transitions for over 35 years, helping you focus on what matters most. If you or someone you know is facing a divorce or family law matter, visit CordellCordell.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis. Joseph Cordell, Principal Partner.
After a disaster, emotional recovery takes time. Show Me Hope, Missouri offers free, confidential support wherever you are. Call or text 1-800-985-5990 and connect with a local crisis counselor today. From Missouri Department of Mental Health.
Come out to Hot Shots on Lindbergh this Friday between 12 and 2 p.m. to celebrate 150 years of Budweiser. Don't miss out on a fresh day of brewed Budweiser and a chance to win great prizes while mingling with KMOX sports talent and sports manager Tom Ackerman. And while you're there, don't miss the chance to stay and watch the U.S. versus Australia game on the big screens while enjoying a Budweiser. All happening Friday at Hot Shots on Lindbergh. For more information, go to KMOX.com/events.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
I'm Megan Lynch. Thanks for listening to Total Information AM here on KMOX. Tonight, the Missouri Eagle Forum will host a town hall featuring supporters of Amendment 5. The issue on the August ballot asks voters to approve elimination of the income tax and clear the way for increases in other taxes. KMOX's Sean Malone spoke with one of the panelists, Republican State Representative Ben Keithley.
Thursday evening, we have a town hall. It's just an event for people who may be on the fence, supportive, think they're in opposition, to be able to come hear about the bill in detail, ask any questions they might have, and just and hopefully have voters in the electorate be able to learn as much as they can before it's time to go vote in August.
You kind of got into my follow-up question in a little bit, but who is this event for? Is it to answer questions for skeptics? Is it to try to drum up support and get out the vote ahead of August?
You know, I think kind of any and all the above. I don't assume support from anyone. I assume people have questions, that people should have questions. Ultimately, people are being asked to vote on what is a very serious policy with huge ramifications for the state of Missouri. I hope people will take the time to understand that issue fully before they go vote. And I'm just trying to answer as many questions as I can about how positive of a policy this can be for Missouri going forward.
What are some of the questions about Amendment 5 and concerns that you're hearing from the people that are skeptical of this?
I think a lot of the questions center on how it affects certain segments of the population specifically. I think a lot of the questions are, well, what do these guardrails really look like? What does the legislature stop from doing? Which are always good discussions to have around constitutional language change. And ultimately, how is the income tax going to be eliminated? What does that look like, and what does that mean for things like sales taxes going forward?
This event is being held in Des Peres, and when you mentioned specific populations, that has me thinking, because Des Peres, the Business Journal ranked it as one of the 10 wealthiest suburbs in the St. Louis area. It came in ranked 6th just a few years ago. Do you plan to hold this event in other locations where maybe people that are concerned they could be directly impacted, such as the elderly, such as people that are lower income that won't see quite the same tax relief from the income tax being eliminated that maybe some of the wealthy individuals in Des Peres would?
Well, let me just make it very clear that while the event is in De Pere, the event is not closed off in any way to anyone. Anyone can attend. And we have been doing countless events all over the state and all different kinds of communities that are similar to this event. Tons of different town halls that have been, led by other state representatives, state senators, other people who have been involved with tax policy at the state level in those groups. So this is one of many in a series of events and town halls we've been doing. There will be more events coming after this, but this event is certainly open to everyone. I don't think there's anything meant by it being in De Pere other than the lodge at De Pere had availability for us to have the event that day, and we're trying to have a place that we could have as many people as possible to fit in.
It seems like one of the concerns that we're hearing from people is that we would be swapping the income tax if Amendment 5 is approved for essentially a mystery box of new taxes, whether it's an increased sales tax, whether it's new use taxes on businesses such as, barber shops and auto repair, things of that nature. What do you say to people that are concerned about not knowing what new taxes are going to be replacing the income tax?
Sure. Well, I think those involved with the bill and the governor himself have been very clear about what their intent is to do here. And the bill itself contemplates closing a lot of the loopholes regarding sales taxes with services and things that are right now paying 0%. So I would hope that answers most people's questions about where we would actually be looking to make those changes in the tax policy. I think overall, I think it's a fair question to have about what kind of tax would you rather pay. The overall, economic scholarship studies, and I think just people's intuition when you look at things like embedded and double taxation. Taxes on income and people's paychecks are extremely destructive. Taxes on consumption encourage and foster economic growth in a way that income tax just really struggles to do.
Anything else about this I didn't ask you about that you think would be good for people to know?
Yeah, I think it's important that people understand, because I think it is the plan is that that is to move towards a consumption-based tax. Why that's good for Missourians is it puts you in control of choosing what your tax burden is. You don't get taxed on every dollar you earn, and then again on all the dollars you spend. We eliminate the entire side of the equation on the dollars you earn and are only taxing you on the dollars you spend. Those are dollars you're in control of. You don't have to go through the tax return process anymore, and that's why ultimately it grows the economy.
Ben Keithley, thank you so much for your time, sir. Once again, before I let you go, when and where is this forum that you'll be hosting?
This is at the Lodge in De Pere, Thursday, June 18th. It is from 5 to 7 p.m.
It's Tom Ackerman for the great company, Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. 1926, a century of service. Here's to the garage door, the largest piece of moving equipment in our home. The garage door, sometimes we take it for granted. It goes up, it goes down. You just rely on it every single day to do what it does. Well, what if it doesn't someday? That would be a problem. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis will keep your garage door reliable by checking it out. Just get it tuned up, make sure that it's running smoothly, and they can do it for any brand. You don't have to get it from them. Any brand of garage door, Overhead Door Company of St. Louis will take care of that for you. Same-day service, too. 314-781-5200. 314-781-5200.